Hello everyone, and welcome to the fictional vortex. So we are back with second part on what if Naruto was a wolf ranger, the leader of Wild Force. But before we start, I just want to remind you to please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button if you enjoy my content. Let's start the story. With that, Kushina put the scroll down on the ground and unrolled it in front of Naruto. So how do I sign it and how do I summon the toads? Asked Naruto confused. Well, first thing is you need to sign your name in blood on the contract, and once that is done, then all of you need is to channel chakra and perform the summoning jutsu, and you should be able to summon a toad, replied Tsunade. With that said, Naruto bit his thumb and blood came out of the wound where he bit it, and he signed his name on the scroll, and once that was done, Naruto decided to try and summon a toad right there in front of his parents. Naruto started to gather a huge amount of chakra and went through a series of hand signs and slammed his hand to the ground as he said, "Summoning jutsu." And there was a huge cloud of smoke. Once it was cleared, Naruto found himself standing on top of the toad boss Gamabunta's head, looking down at his parents. "Where am I and who in the blazines are you?" asked Gamabunta, looking up at Naruto. "The name's Naruto Uzumaki and I am the one who summoned you," replied Naruto. "I don't believe you, kid, as the only one who can summon me is Jiraiya," said Gamabunta. "Naruto is telling you the truth, Gamabunta. He summoned you all by himself," said Tsunade. "Well, I like to believe you, Tsunade, but I refuses to believe a kid like Naruto here summoned me by himself," replied Gamabunta. "Well, we are telling you the truth and I refuses to get off your back until you believe me," said Naruto angry. "Then suit yourself, kid. But I will get you off my back one way or the other," said Gamabunta. With that, Gamabunta leaped high into the air and headed straight towards the forest with Naruto on his back. Once they were gone, Kushina started to take off in the direction of where Gamabunta was heading in. "Kushina, hold on a minute," said Tsunade, making Kushina stop in her tracks. "What do you mean hold a minute, Tsunade? Our son is on top of Gamabunta and he may need our help," said Kushina, looking Tsunade. "I don't think Naruto needs our help. Call instinct, but I have the feeling Gamabunta is going to find out that Naruto is the one who summoned him, and he will find out not in a very good way," replied Tsunade. "Are you sure about that?" asked Kushina. "Yes, I am very sure. So let's just wait here and let Naruto come back on his own," said Tsunade, smiling. Meanwhile, in the forest, Gamabunta was trying every way he knew how to get rid of Naruto off his back, and Naruto was getting sick and tired of just hanging on for dear life. "If this stupid toad could stand still for a minute, then I could call for my wild Zords to come help me and teach this oversized toad a lesson," said Naruto as he was trying to hang on for dear life. As Gamabunta was getting ready for another leap to try and get rid of Naruto, he heard what sounded like a lion's roar coming from somewhere, as did Naruto. When Gamabunta looked to see where it was coming from, there was suddenly a bright flash of gold light that came down to the ground, and when it faded, coming towards Gamabunta was 5 wild Zords. A black lion, blue condor, yellow leopard, saw shark, and a brown bison heading straight towards him at a fast speed. When Naruto saw these strange wild Zords, he had a look of shock on his face. "I don't believe this. Those are the wild Zords that make up Animus. But how can they be here when he was destroyed 3,000 years ago?" said Naruto with a shock. As Naruto said that, the 5 wild Zords started to combine with one another, and once they were fully combined, standing in front of Gamabunta was Animus, Lord of the Wild Zords, ready to fight. "I don't believe my eyes. Is that you, Animus, my old friend?" asked Gamabunta, looking at Animus with a look of surprise. "Yes, it is me, Gamabunta, and I am here to tell you that Naruto is the one who summoned you in the first place, as I figure you would believe me of all people," replied Animus. "Well, I hate to be rude to you, Animus. But why should I believe a kid like Naruto here is capable of summoning me?" asked Gamabunta, curious. "Because believe it or not, Naruto there happens to Merrick Balaton, the one who defeated Master Org over 3,000 years ago, reborn in this earth like I was," replied Animus. "Are you serious? You telling me that Naruto here is the one who defeated Master Org by wearing the curse mask of Zen-Aku?" asked Gamabunta, shocked. "Yes, I am very serious, as you should tell by the power he has within him," replied Animus. "Yes, I can feel this power you are telling me about coming from young Naruto here. So that means that Naruto here was the one who summoned me in the first place," said Gamabunta. That what I was trying to you in the first place before you decided to take me for a joyride, said Naruto angry. Well, I am very sorry. I just had to be sure you really were the one who summoned me, and since it appears you and Animus are old friends, I will allow you to summon me anytime you want, but only if you really need me, said Gamabunta, putting Naruto on the ground. Well, I guess I can accept your apology, but make sure never to do what you did to me again, said Naruto. You have my promise that I will never take you for a ride like that again. Now if you can excuse me. I should be getting back to my family now. So until we meet again, Naruto. Farewell, said Gamabunta. With that, Gamabunta vanished in a cloud of smoke, leaving Naruto alone with Animus. Thanks for the help, Animus. But I would like to know how you can be here when you were destroyed by Master Orc himself? Asked Naruto, looking at Animus. Well, I was reborn as a human by Zordon, who gave me another chance at life like he did you. But I think it will be better if we talk some more by me turning back into my human form, replied Animus. Before Naruto could figure out what Animus meant by that, he saw Animus get engulfed in gold light and started to shrink down and take on a human shape. When the light faded, Naruto was surprised by what Animus looked like as a human. Instead of Animus being a male like him, standing in front of Naruto was a beautiful girl his age with long ice blue hair that came down to her waist, with red eyes, and wearing a white t-shirt and blue jeans and blue ninja sandals. So how do I look? Asked the now female Animus. You're a girl? Asked Naruto, looking at the now human Animus. Oh, course I am girl, Naruto. What did you expect me to be, a boy? Shouted a now angry Animus. Well, I didn't really know. I just thought because you sounded like a male when you were in your Megazord form that you would have been a boy. But I am very sorry if I upset you, Animus, said Naruto, quickly apologizing. It's okay, Naruto. I guess it is easy for you to make a mistake like that. But if you must know, when I am in my Megazord form I don't really have a gender as do other Zords, replied Animus. Well, I still want to apologize to you, Animus. I shouldn't have asked that question to a beautiful young girl such as you, said Naruto. Well, your apology is accepted, Naruto. But please call me by my human name of Kosmos, said Kosmos with a blush on her face from Naruto calling her beautiful. Well, in that case, Kosmos, I like to know why you decide to be reborn as a human when you could have stayed as Animus and help out me protect the village? Asked Naruto, curious. If you must know, it is because of the fact that I chose to become a human as I am in love with you, Naruto, replied Kosmos. You mean to tell me that you are in love with me? Asked Naruto, shocked. Yes, I am, ever since you saved our world from Master Org by putting on the mask of Zen-Aku, which is why when Zordon gave me the chance of being reborn as a human I decided to become a girl so I could be with you. But I will understand if you don't feel the same way about me, said Kosmos with tears in her eyes. All of a sudden Kosmos felt Naruto take her face in his hands and look at her. How can I know a beautiful girl like you, Kosmos? You gave up your life fighting Master Org and were given a chance at life again by Zordon like I was. So I can say with all my heart that I really do love you, and I know the others will not mind sharing me with you, said Naruto, smiling. With that, Naruto kissed Kosmos right on the lips, and when he pulled away, Kosmos had a huge blush on her face from Naruto kissing her. That means a lot to me, Naruto. Now I think we should head back to your house, as I can imagine the others are wondering where you are, said Kosmos. You're right, we should head back, and I will tell everyone who you are and how you helped me with Gamabunta, said Naruto. With that said, Naruto and Kosmos started to head back to Naruto's house where the others were waiting for them. Meanwhile, Kushina and Tsunade were waiting with the others, waiting for Naruto to return, when all of a sudden they saw Naruto heading towards them, Kosmos walking alongside him. Naruto, you are all right, said Kushina, running over to her son and give him a huge hug. Yes, I am just fine, Mom, thanks to Kosmos helping me out with Gamabunta, replied Naruto, looking at Kosmos. Thank you very much for helping our son out with Gamabunta. But where did you come from? Asked Tsunade. If you must know who I am, I happen to be Animus reborn as a human, and I am an old friend of Gamabunta as well, replied Kosmos. You mean to tell us you are Animus, the Megazord we saw get destroyed by Master Org when Kyuubi and Okami showed us Naruto's past life? Asked Sakura, shocked. Yes, I am the same Animus that was destroyed by Master Org, replied Kosmos. But how can you be girl instead of a boy, since Naruto here told us you were one since you spoke with a male's voice? Asked Rin, confused. If you must know, I have no gender when I was a Megazord and chose to become a female human so I could be Naruto as I am in love with him," replied Kosmos. "So let us get this straight. You and Naruto are in love with each other?" asked Runo. "Yes, we are Runo and I love her just as much as I love all of you," replied Naruto. "Well, we can understand that since you can have as many wives as you want since you are the last male member of your clan Naruto. So we don't mind sharing you with her as we know you love all of us the same," said Rose. "That means a lot to me to hear you say that," said Naruto. "Well, I hate to break up this little party, but it is getting late and we should all go home and get some rest and Naruto will need for his training tomorrow," said Anko. "Anko's right, we should get some rest as you have training to do tomorrow so you can be prepared for the Chunin exams in 2 weeks," said Tsunade. With that said, everyone headed to their homes to get some rest for tomorrow's training. 2 weeks later, and it was now the day of the finales of the Chunin exams, and Naruto was in the arena where they were being held with the other finalists and looking at everyone who was there to see all of them battle. On top of the arena, the third Hokage was sitting with Orochimaru, who was disguised as the Kazakage, looking down at the arena floor. "So what do you think of this year's finalist for the Chunin Xmas, Lord Kazakage?" asked Sarutobi. "They all seem to be the best ninja from their villages, Lord Hokage. But I would like to know about Naruto Uzumaki," replied Orochimaru. "What is it you would like to know about young Naruto?" asked Sarutobi. "Well, I would like to know if what people say is true about him having access to the wild Zords of legend and how he can have such a advanced taijutsu style," asked Orochimaru, curious. "Well, I hate to tell you, Lord Kazakage, but any information on Naruto is a S-rank secret and no one but me and his parents are to know about it," replied Sarutobi. "But of course, Lord Hokage. I respect your decision to keep what information you have on young Naruto a secret. I was just curious," said Orochimaru. "Well, since we got that out of the way, how about we watch the first match of the Chunin exams finales between Naruto and Neji?" asked Sarutobi. "Yes, of course, that sounds like a good idea to me," replied Orochimaru. With that, the two of them looked down to the arena floor to watch the match between Naruto and Neji. Meanwhile, Naruto and Neji were getting ready for their match to start. Each one was looking at the other. "So Naruto, are you ready to lose this match to me since destiny foretold that I would win it?" said Neji with a smile. "No, because I plan on making you pay for what you did to Hinata by almost killing her, as she is like a sister to me," replied Naruto with hate and venom in his voice. "Well then, I would like to see you try," said Neji. "Alright, if you are both ready we can begin the match now," said Proctor. With that said, Neji and Naruto charged at each other. Naruto quickly made 3 shadow clones and went after Neji, with them each holding a kuni in their hands. Neji quickly reacted by using his gentle fist style to hit each of the shadow clones and made them disappear in clouds of smoke, and then he hit Naruto right in the chest and sending him flying across the arena floor and hit the ground hard on his back. Naruto quickly got back to his feet as Neji came running towards him and tried punching him with his fist, as Naruto tried to block each one until one contacted and sent him to the ground on his knees. Naruto quickly got back up and did a hand sign to use a jutsu, only to discover that he could not mold any chakra. "What the hell is going on? How come I can't mold any of my chakra?" asked Naruto, confused. "Because of the fact that I use my gentle fist to stop the flow of chakra into your body, making you unable to use any of your jutsu. So I would suggest that you gave up now before something bad happens to you," replied Neji. Meanwhile, up in the arena stands Naruto girlfriends minus Rin were sitting with Tsunade and Kushina as they watched the battle between Naruto and Neji and saw that Naruto couldn't mold any more chakra. "I don't understand. How come Naruto can't mold any more chakra?" asked Sakura. "Because Neji used his gentle fist to stop the flow of chakra in Naruto's body, making him unable to use any jutsu," replied Kushina. "So that means Naruto is defenseless without any of his jutsu?" asked Rose, confused. "Well, I wouldn't say he is defenseless, Rose. Far from it," replied Okami. "What do you mean by that?" asked Runo. "What she means is that Naruto still has access to the power of Zen-Aku that he was reborn with and can use it to use any of his jutsu," replied Kyuubi. "That's right, and if what you and Okami told us is true, then Naruto can use the full power of it, since today is the day of the full moon. Which means that Neji just messed with the wrong ninja," said Princess Yuki. Yep, and Neji is about to find that out the wrong way, said Tsunade with a smile. Meanwhile, back on the arena floor, Naruto was thinking how he was going to defeat Neji. Neji thinks I can't use my jutsu since I can't mold any chakra. But he doesn't know that thanks to the power of Zen-Aku I was reborn with, I can call on it to use my jutsu and make it more powerful, and since today is the day of the full moon I can use it at full power, thought Naruto, smiling. At that moment Neji had seen Naruto smile and was wondering what he was thinking about. Why are you smiling for, Naruto, since I am about to win this match? Asked Neji. I am just thinking about how I am going to win this match and make you pay for hurting Hinata, replied Naruto with a bigger smile on his face. Before Neji could figure out what Naruto meant by that, Neji saw Naruto's body start to glow an unearthly blue color, and then a blue sphere of energy appeared in Naruto's right hand, and Naruto started to run at Neji at a very fast speed, and before Neji could react, Naruto slammed the sphere of energy into his chest, and Neji found himself flying across the arena and slammed right into the wall behind him and leaving a deep impact, and he fell to the ground, and Neji looked up to see Naruto standing over him as the proctor announced Naruto the winner of the match. I don't understand this. How could you have performed that jutsu without using any chakra? Asked Neji, confused. B's a great power I was born with that I could use to perform jutsu, and that is how I managed to perform it, and that is why you lost to me, since you underestimated me as you did Hinata. Now since I told you that, I think you should just recover and think real hard about who you fight, as they could beat you just as I have, replied Naruto. With that, Naruto walked away, leaving Neji to think about what he said and jump up to the balcony where the other finalists were waiting for their matches to start, and Naruto found himself being hugged tight by Rin, who had ran over to him. Naruto, you did great defeating Neji in your match, said Rin with a blush. Thanks, Rin. But what else did you expect to happen? I am the best ninja you know in the village, said Naruto, giving Rin a kiss on the lips. Well, I say you just got lucky, Dobi. But when you and me fight in our match, then I will prove to everyone I am stronger than you, said Sasuke in an angry voice. Well then, I am looking forward to our match, Sasuke, just so I can wipe the floor with you. But you have to defeat Gaara first if you want to fight me, said Naruto. With that, Naruto and Sasuke watch as the next match was called, which was between Rin and Temari, who Rin defeated by using some shadow clones, then use a jutsu that Tsunade had taught her to make Temari unable to move and unable to fight. After a few more matches, it was finally time for the match between Sasuke and Gaara. As Gaara started to head to his match, Naruto started to get a bad feeling about him and decided to follow Gaara to make sure nothing bad happened on the way there to ease his fears. After a few minutes of following Gaara, Naruto stopped and hid behind a corner as he saw Gaara being stopped by two ninja. Hey Gaara, we need a word with you, said the first ninja. Yeah, we want you to throw your match away since me and my friend here have put our bets on Sasuke Uchiha winning the match, said the other ninja. So if you just throw the match away, then we will let you take some of our winnings with you as a gesture of good fatty. So what do you say about that? Asked the first ninja. I say that it is time for you two to die, replied Gaara. Before the two ninja could figure out what Gaara meant by that, they found themselves buried in sand that came from Gaara gourd and covered them. Once that was done, Gaara closed his hand into a fist and said, "Sand burial." And with that, the balls of sand crushed the two ninja inside and killed them. Once that was done, Naruto saw Gaara with a look of pure enjoyment on his face that said he enjoyed killing the two ninja, and saw Gaara walk away. Man, this isn't good. I better go tell the others what happened and warn them about Gaara, and tell Kakashi-sensei to stop the match before Sasuke is killed by Gaara, thought Naruto, shocked. With that, Naruto headed to where Kakashi was at a fast speed. Meanwhile, Kakashi was talking to Tsunade and Kushina about how Naruto match went when off a sudden Kakashi saw Naruto come running into the stands and looking like he was tired from running so much. Kakashi-sensei, you have to stop this match right away before Sasuke is killed by Gaara, shouted Naruto. What do you mean by that, Naruto? Asked Kurenai. What I mean is that I decide to follow Gaara as I had a bad feeling about him when he was stopped by two ninja that told him to throw away his match against Sasuke. So Gaara killed both of them in cold blood using his sand, and I saw he had a look of pure enjoyment on his face that said he enjoys killing people, replied Naruto. Kakashi-sensei, if what Naruto is saying is true about Gaara, then you have to stop this match before something bad happens to Sasuke, said Sakura, worried. I am afraid, Sakura, that there is nothing I can do now since the match is already underway. All we can do is hope that Sasuke can beat Gaara," replied Kakashi in a sad tone. Meanwhile, on the arena floor, Gaara was inside a giant ball of sand that so far Sasuke was unable to break into, and now he was angry. "I can't believe this, everything I throw at that ball of sand that Gaara is in can't break through it. I guess I have to use the jutsu that Kakashi taught me in order to win this match," thought Sasuke, angry. With that, Sasuke pointed his hands to the ground and started to gather up chakra, and it appeared in his hand's lighting as he used the chidwa Kakashi taught him and ran at full speed towards the sand dome, and as soon as he got to it he thrust his hand forward as it went through the sand, and Sasuke noticed the feeling of blood coming out of a wound from inside the sand dome. "Did I get him?" thought Sasuke. As soon as Sasuke thought, there was suddenly a scream that came from the dome of sand, and suddenly Sasuke saw a strange arm come out of the sand and flung him right across the arena floor, and Sasuke looked in the hole in the sand and saw two demonic-looking eyes staring at him, and then suddenly the sand broke apart to reveal Gaara weak and wounded, clutching his left shoulder as it appeared injured. "What is going on here? Those are not the same eyes I saw earlier," thought Sasuke, confused and scared. Meanwhile, up in the stands, Kabuto, who was disguised as a Anbu, had seen everything that had happened between Gaara and Sasuke. "Well, looks like Gaara couldn't wait for the signal. Well, I better gave the signal, as Lord Orochimaru will be angry if I don't," thought Kabuto, worried. With that, Kabuto made a few hand signs and feathers started to drop down from the sky, and everyone in the arena started to feel sleepy. At the same time, Naruto and the others had seen what was going on in the arena and now were looking at the feathers. "Kakashi-sensei, what is going on?" asked Sakura, worried. "This is genjutsu, which means the village is under attack from Orochimaru. We have to quickly break free of this genjutsu before we are caught in it," replied Kakashi. With that, every one of them made a hand sign and said, "Release," and broke free of the jutsu. Meanwhile, at the top of the arena, Sarutobi had seen what was going on and looked at Orochimaru as he looked at the two sand ninja next to him and nod his head. All of a sudden there was a huge explosion, and when the smoke cleared, Sarutobi found himself being held by Orochimaru with a kuni to his head, as sand and sound ninja appeared in the arena. "Lord Kazakage, what is the meaning of this?" asked Sarutobi, confused. "It is called a ambush, Sarutobi-sensei," replied Orochimaru, taking off his mask, smiling. "Orochimaru, I should have known you would have been behind this attack on the village since Kin told me about it. But I would never have guessed you would try an attack here inside the village," said Sarutobi. "Ah, but you were wrong, Sarutobi-sensei, as it was a good thing I didn't tell my former ninja the full details of my attack on the village, as I had the feeling that she would betray me. And thanks to a new ally of mine, I know all about Naruto Uzumiki's past as Merrick Baladin," replied Orochimaru. "So if you know all about Naruto's secret, care to tell me who was the one who told you about it?" asked Sarutobi. "That I am afraid, my dear Sarutobi-sensei, must be kept a secret, as my ally does not want Naruto to know who he is until they meet face to face. But I will tell you this, I will kill you as I destroy the village you swore to protect with your life," replied Orochimaru. "That's not going to happen, Orochimaru, as long as I live, and I will kill you before your plan can succeed," said Sarutobi. With that, Sarutobi punched Orochimaru right in the chest and got out of his hold, and now was looking at him with hate in his eyes. "Looks like you still have some tricks left in you, old man. But that will not make any difference, as I will kill you now and destroy the village in the process," said Orochimaru. "That's not going to happen, Orochimaru, as you will die right here by my hand, as I should have done a long time ago," said Sarutobi. "Then prove it to me, old man," said Orochimaru. With that, they charge each other. Meanwhile, in the stands, Naruto and the others were trying their hardest to fight off the sand and sound ninja the best they could. Kakashi looked down to the Aryan floor and saw that Ganesh, Naruto, Sakura, Rin, I have a mission for the three of you, said Kakashi, looking at the three of them. "Why are you giving us a mission, Kakashi-sensei, when the village is being attacked?" asked Rin, confused. "Because Sasuke went off after Gaara, and I need you three to go after him and bring him somewhere safe until I can come join you, as I am afraid that Sasuke curse mark could go off even with the seal Naruto put on it," replied Kakashi. "If that is the case, then we will go after Sasuke and bring him somewhere safe, Kakashi-sensei," said Sakura. "If you three are going after Sasuke and Gaara, then you will need my help," said Kosmos. Why do you want to come with us Kosmos, as our mission will be dangerous? Asked Naruto concerned. Because I have the feeling that there is more to Gaara than meets the eye and that you will need the help of your wild Zords and Gamabunta, and since I can transform into my Megazord form as Animus, then I could be of some use in case things get bad, replied Kosmos. Kosmos is right, Naruto, you three might need her help in case something goes wrong, and you will need your wild Zords in battle. Now since that is settled, I want you four to go after Sasuke and Gaara and bring Sasuke back safely, said Kakashi. With that, Kakashi hit a sand ninja and sent him through the wall behind Naruto and the others, and the four of them quickly went through it and after Sasuke, leaving the others to defend the village. Meanwhile in the forest, Sasuke was trying his hardest to fight off Gaara, who now looked like some kind of monster and already used up another Chidwa trying to take Gaara down, and now he was trying to avoid Gaara's attacks just barely thanks to his Sharingan. I can't believe this. Everything I throw at Gaara he just shakes it off like it was nothing, and I can't do anything anymore since I have already used the Chidori, thought Sasuke worried. What's the matter, Sasuke, getting tired? I thought your reason for living was stronger than mine. But I guess you were just weak from the start, said Gaara. When Gaara said that, Sasuke started to remember his goal of killing his brother Itachi for killing their clan and relieved that he could not give up yet. With that, Sasuke looked at Gaara and started to force chakra into his hand, and suddenly another Chadri appeared and he charged at Gaara, who leaped at him with his arm, and when they both contacted, Sasuke managed to cut off Gaara's arm and landed on a tree branch and fell to his knees as the curse seal on his neck started to take over and black lines appeared all over his body, and look up to see Gaara had grown another arm. I can believe this. I force myself to use another Chadri and Gaara is still unharmed, and I can't do anything thanks to this cure's mark on my neck making me unable to move, thought Sasuke angry. Sasuke looked up to see Gaara starting to come over to him when all of a sudden from out of nowhere Naruto appeared and hit Gaara right in the chest, sending him flying into a tree a couple of yards away, and Sakura, Rin, and Kosmos appeared next to Sasuke and saw that the curse mark was starting to take over. This is bad, you guys. The curse mark is starting to take Sasuke over, said Sakura worried. I know we need to get him out of here and get him to Kakashi-sensei, said Rin. That's not going to happen as you will all die right here, said Gaara mad. What the hell is that, Gaara? Asked Naruto looking at Gaara. I am afraid it is Naruto, and it looks like from the look of it the demon inside of him is starting to take over, replied Kosmos. Before Naruto could even react, Gaara leaped off the tree branch he was on and head start towards Sasuke with the intent to kill him. When from out of nowhere Sakura and Rin appeared in front of Sasuke, each with a kuni in their hand pointed at Gaara, as Naruto watched in horror as Gaara took his arm that was made out of sand, hit both of them and sent them into a tree with Gaara's hand holding them to it. Sakura, Rin! Shouted Naruto as he started to rush over to the two girls. Stop right there, Naruto Uzumaki, if you don't want me to kill these two young ladies, said Gaara. I don't understand you, Gaara. Why is it you enjoy killing people? Asked Naruto looking at Gaara. If you must know, it is because before I was born my father the Kazakage sealed the demon Shukaku into me as my mother was giving birth to me, and when I was born I ended up killing her, and as I was growing up the ninja of my village tried to kill me without success, and I realized that I had to kill people in order to make myself feel alive and have a purpose, replied Gaara. I feel sorry for what happened to you, Gaara, but that is still no excuse to go around killing people just to make yourself have a purpose in life, as having true strength and purpose is from protecting the people you love and who care about you, and I will prove it to you by freeing Sakura and Rin from you, said Naruto. Then go ahead and try and beat. But if you want to rescue these two, then you will have to kill me, as they are slowly being crushed to death by my sand, and the only way to free them is by killing me, said Gaara. I will defeat you, Gaara, and free Sakura and Rin without killing you. Kosmos, I want you to stay with Sasuke while I battle Gaara, said Naruto looking at Kosmos. I will, Naruto. But if Gaara's demon takes over him completely, then I will jump in to help you, replied Kosmos. With that said, Naruto looked at Gaara to broke off his hand holding Sakura and Rin to the tree and grew another one and charged at Naruto, who quickly dodged out of the way just in time and deliver a roundhouse kick in mid-air to Gaara's side, sending him flying into a tree. Gaara's then quickly disappeared in a blur and reappeared in front of Gaara with a Rasengan in his hand and hit Gaara with it right in the chest and sent Gaara right into a tree. Did I get him? thought Naruto. All of a sudden the ground beneath Naruto started to shake, and when it stopped, standing over Naruto was Gaara in his demon form looking down at him. Looks like I spoke too soon. Time to bring out the big guns, said Naruto. With that, Naruto bit his thumb hard. A drop of blood appeared and slammed his hand down as he said, "Summoning jutsu." And there was a huge cloud of smoke, and when it cleared, Naruto was standing on top of Gamabunta's head. "Naruto, what is the meaning of summoning me here?" asked Gamabunta. "I am sorry for summoning you, Gamabunta, but I need your help in defeating Gaara, who has taken on a demon form, as he has Sakura and Rin trapped and is crushing them with his sand," replied Naruto. With that, Naruto and Gamabunta look at Gaara as look in surprise as Gaara's body came out of the demon form and made a hand sign and fell to sleep. "Finally I am free at last," said Shukaku laughing. "This isn't good," said Gamabunta. "What do you mean by that?" asked Naruto confused. "You see, since Gaara put himself to sleep, he allowed the demon in him to take over, and now the only way to free Sakura and Rin is for you to wake up Gaara by hitting him and interrupt the jutsu," replied Gamabunta. "Then get me close to him and I will wake up Gaara for sure if it is the only way to save Sakura and Rin," said Naruto. "Alright then, hold on tight," said Gamabunta. With that, Gamabunta charged Shukaku. Meanwhile, back in the arena, Sarutobi was trying his hardest to beat Orochimaru, who had used a jutsu to bring back the first two Hokage. That Sarutobi was now fighting with King Emma in his boa form. "I can't go on like this much longer. I have used every jutsu I have and it has done nothing. There is only thing for me to do now to stop Orochimaru," said Sarutobi. "You don't mean you're going to use that jutsu, are you, Sarutobi?" asked Emma. "I have no choice left, Emma. I have to use the jutsu that the fourth Hokage taught me. But at least I will be taking Orochimaru with me," replied Sarutobi. "Then I wish you good luck, Sarutobi, as you will need it in order to defeat Orochimaru," said Emma. Meanwhile, Orochimaru was wondering what Sarutobi was talking about when he saw him make a few hand signs and two shadow clones appeared next to him. "Sarutobi-sensei, what do you think you are doing? You think to help you defeat me?" said Orochimaru. "They will be for what I am about to do next, Orochimaru," replied Sarutobi. With that, Sarutobi made a few more hand signs and the Shinigami appeared over his head. Thanks to this jutsu, the Shinigami can only be seen by the person who perform it. Now Orochimaru won't know what hit him until it is too late, thought Sarutobi, smiling. "What are you smiling, old man, since you are about to die?" asked Orochimaru. "Because of the fact it will be you who dies right here, Orochimaru," replied Sarutobi. "Then go ahead and try, old man, as nothing you do will stop me," said Orochimaru. With that said, the two Hokage charged Sarutobi and his two shadow clones, who disappeared and reappeared in front of them as Sarutobi appeared in front of Orochimaru and grabbed a hold of him as his two shadow clones grabbed the first and the second Hokage, and all of a sudden Orochimaru watched as a ghost-like hand came out of nowhere and grabbed the two Hokage's souls and took them out, and a seal appeared on Sarutobi's shadow clones and they disappeared into clouds of smoke, and Orochimaru then watched as the ghost-like hand came towards him and reached inside of him and started to pull out his soul, and he then saw the Shinigami over. "What the hell kind of jutsu is this, old man?" demanded Orochimaru. "This jutsu happens to be the one that the fourth Hokage used to seal Kyuubi inside of Naruto, and now I am going to use it to kill," replied Sarutobi. "There's no way in hell I am going to let you kill me, old man," said Orochimaru. With that, Orochimaru started to fight back Sarutobi's attempts to take out his soul, and after a few minutes of trying to take out Orochimaru's soul, Sarutobi started to feel very weak. "I can't believe this, I am so close to killing Orochimaru and my old body is starting to fail me," thought Sarutobi. "What's the matter, Sarutobi-sensei, do you not have the strength to finish me off?" asked Orochimaru, smiling. "You may be right, Orochimaru, that I can't kill you, but I can still stop you by taking all of your jutsu," replied Sarutobi, smiling. Before Orochimaru could figure out what Sarutobi meant by that, he saw Sarutobi took out a kuni and cut the part of his soul that was still sticking out, and then Orochimaru felt his arms become weak and he couldn't move them. "What the hell did you do to me, old man?" demanded Orochimaru. "I took away the jutsu you worked so hard to take, and from now on you will be unable to make a hand sign ever again," replied Sarutobi in a dying breath. "Blast you, old man. You may have stopped my plans for destroying the village and take away my jutsu," But it will not stop me from getting what I want, which is immortality. That is I promise I intend to keep," said Orochimaru. Which that said Orochimaru quickly retreated with his ninja as the Anbu appeared and saw that Sarutobi was now dead. Meanwhile back in the forest Gamabunta and Naruto were having a hard time trying to get close to Shukaku so Naruto could wake Gaara up, and now Shukaku had hit Gamabunta right in the chest, sending him backwards. "This isn't getting us anywhere, Gamabunta. It's time to bring out the big guns." "Wild access," said Naruto as he morphed into the Lunar Wolf Ranger. "Alright, Wild Zords, arise," shouted Naruto. With that, Naruto 3 Wild Zords appeared. "Alright, Wild Zords, combine," said Naruto. With that, the 3 Wild Zords combined together to form the Predazord, and Naruto disappeared into silver light and reappeared inside the cockpit of the Predazord and put the lunar Q into the council in front of him. "Alright, ready for battle. Predazord, awaken," said Naruto. Meanwhile Shukaku, who had seen everything, looked at the Predazord with a look of surprise on his face. "I don't believe this. That brat summoned the legendary Predazord that took down Master Org. Well, it doesn't matter. I am still going to defeat them both with my bare hands," said Shukaku. "I wouldn't count on that," said a voice. Shukaku looked in the direction of the voice and looked in shock to see Kosmos, who was now transformed as Animus, looking at him ready for battle. "This isn't possible. How the hell can you be alive, Animus, when you were destroyed by Master Org over 3,000 years ago on the Earth you were on?" asked Shukaku, shocked. "Because I happen to have been reborn as a human with access to my Megazord form to help me in battle with demons like you, Shukaku," replied Animus. "Well, I don't care if there are 3 of you now. It will not make any difference, as I will destroy all of you with my bare hands," said Shukaku. With that, Shukaku charged at the 3 of them. Shukaku quickly fired an air bubble at Gamabunta, only to have it blocked by Animus, who swatted aside with his right arm, and the Predazord came and hit Shukaku right in the chest with its left arm, sending him flying backwards to the ground hard. Shukaku quickly got to his feet to see the Predazord unleash its blue moon wave and Animus releasing her final attack. As soon as the attacks hit Shukaku, he went down to the ground in a shower of sparks and smoke, and then there was a huge explosion. Naruto then looked down at Sakura and Rin and saw the sand around them crumble, and they started to fall to the ground. Naruto quickly jumped out of the Predazord and caught the 2 girls in his arms in mid-air and landed on the ground and demorphed. He then turned to Gaara, who was now back in his human body, very weak. "I don't understand how I could have lost to you," asked Gaara, confused. "Because of the fact I get my strength from protecting the people who love me and I care about, as you should too, since your brother and sister seem to care a lot about you as they tried to protect you from Sasuke," replied Naruto. With that, Temari and Kankuro appeared next to Gaara and asked if he was alright, and once Gaara got to his feet they started to walk away when Gaara looked back at Naruto and said, "Naruto, I want to thank you for making me see that true strength comes from having people who care about you, and I will try very hard to protect the people who love me as well, and I hope one day we will meet again and we can become good friends." With that, they disappeared in a breeze of wind and leaves. Naruto then turned to see Kosmos and Sasuke, who appeared to have recovered, coming towards him. "Naruto, are you alright?" asked Kosmos. "Yes, I am, as are Sakura and Rin, thanks to your help in defeating Shukaku by transforming into your Megazord form," replied Naruto. "Well, it was nothing, Naruto, as you needed my help," said Kosmos with a blush. "Well, since that is all settled, can we head back to the village so we can see how everything went and get some rest?" said Sasuke, annoyed. "Of course we can, Sasuke, as I am worried about how the others made out as well," said Naruto. With that, they headed back to the village with Naruto and Kosmos carrying Sakura and Rin in their arms. Once they got back to the village, they were shocked to discover from Kakashi that the 3rd Hokage Sarutobi had died trying to kill Orochimaru using a forbidden jutsu. A few days later, Naruto was inside his house with his mothers Tsunade and Kushina preparing to go to the Hokage's funeral, and they were dressed in black. "I still can't believe that old man Hokage is dead," said Naruto sadly. "I know what you mean, Naruto, as he was like a father to when he was training me, and it will be hard to get over the fact that he is now dead," said Tsunade. "Yeah, and with him gone the village is not the same. But we better hurry if we don't want to be late to pay our respects to Lord Hokage," said Kushina, trying to hold back her tears. With that, the 3 of them went out the door and headed straight towards the funeral to pay their respects to the Hokage. Once they got there they saw that every shinboy of the village had come as well to pay their respects to the Hokage. One by one everyone put a flower on top of the Hokage coffin with his picture on it and said a few words. Finally Naruto went up to the coffin and looked at the picture of the late Sarutobi. "Old man, if you can hear me, I want to see that you made a great sake first by giving your life protecting the village from harm, and I promise to you that I will finish off Orochimaru's the village again, and that is I promise of a lifetime, believe it," said Naruto. With that Naruto put the flower on the coffin and walked away crying with tears falling down his face. After the funeral was over it was now dark and there was a full moon out, and Naruto was walking home with his mother Tsunade and Kushina, unaware that watching them from on top of the Hokage's monument was Zen-Aku, who had decided to watch what Naruto was up to. Well, it looks like Orochimaru's plan to destroy the village failed. But that doesn't matter to me as I only care about facing you in battle, Naruto, and merging once again to become one. So sleep while you can, because very soon we will meet face to face, and that is a promise I attained to keep, as you will know the fury of Zen-Aku," said Zen-Aku with a laugh. With that Zen-Aku leaped off the face of the fourth Hokage and appeared in the face of the full moon and disappeared to put his plan into action. It now had been a month since the attack on the village and the third Hokage had died trying to kill Orochimaru. During that time the villagers were starting to rebuild the village, and the council had decided to have Tsunade become the next Hokage since they felt she was the only person who could do the job, and also Naruto had been training harder than ever to get strong enough to protect the village and the people he cared about from attack. And now in the forest outside the village gate Sakura, Kagura, and Anko were sitting down next to a tree watching as Naruto was sparring with some of his shadow clones. "I still can't believe that the third Hokage is dead," said Sakura. "Yeah, I can't either. But at least Lady Tsunade decided to take the title of Hokage since she is the right one for the job," said Kagura. "Well, I still like to know how that evil snake Orochimaru found out about Naruto's past, as there is no way he figured it out by himself," said Anko angry. "Well, until we figure out who told him and what connection this person has to Naruto, all we can do is wait and hope Naruto is ready to face them head on," said Kagura. "Well, I wouldn't worry about me too much, Kagura, as I am more than ready to face anything that comes my way," said Naruto as he finished off the last shadow clone. "Well, we don't have any doubts about that, Naruto, as you have proven to everyone you are a great ninja," said Sakura smiling. With that Naruto walked over to the three of them and started to sit down, when all of a sudden the four of them heard what sounded like a flute playing, and the music sounded like the tune that Naruto always played on his flute. As the music got closer to them they tried to find out where the music was coming from, and they finally looked straight ahead of them and looked in horror to see Zen-Aku coming towards them playing a crescent moon-shaped flute. "I can't believe this, that's Zen-Aku, but isn't he supposed to be dead from what we saw from the memories that Kyuubi and Okami showed us when Naruto broke his mask," said Sakura shocked. "Well, maybe someone should tell that to him," said Kagura. "Well, it doesn't matter how he is alive and here in our world. What matters is that he probably was the one who told Orochimaru all about Naruto's past life as Merrick," said Anko in an angry tone. With that they watched Zen-Aku coming towards them until he was about 20 feet away from them and stopped playing his flute and looked at Naruto with his wolf-like eyes. "Well, a long time no see, old friend," said Zen-Aku with a laugh. "Zen-Aku, but how can you be here when you were destroyed when I broke the curse of your mask?" asked Naruto in an angry voice. "Oh, wouldn't you like to know how I managed to be alive and get to this world? But the only way that I am going to tell is if you fight me right here," replied Zen-Aku. "Fine with me, Zen-Aku, as once I am done with you there will nothing left to bury in the ground. Wild access," said Naruto, morphing into the Lunar Wolf Ranger and pointed the lunar Q at Zen-Aku. "Well, go ahead and try, Naruto, because like you I have gotten a lot stronger since you put my mask on," said Zen-Aku, pointing his crescent blade at Naruto. "Naruto, if Zen-Aku is as powerful as we heard he is, then you're going to need help in this battle," said Sakura, worried. "No, I don't need anyone's help defeating Zen-Aku, as this is my battle and no one else's. So you three just stay out of this as I will handle Zen-Aku alone," replied Naruto in angry voice full of hate and venom. With that Naruto charged Zen-Aku with his lunar Q as Zen-Aku charged at Naruto at the same time with his crescent blade. Meanwhile inside the Hokage's tower, Tsunade was inside her office filling out paperwork with Kushina sitting in front of her, as was Kosmos, when all of a sudden the three of them felt a huge amount of evil energy coming from somewhere. Where the hell is all this evil energy coming from, as it feels powerful? Asked Kushina. I don't know, but I haven't felt something that powerful since Master Org, and it is coming from the forest outside the village gates, said Kosmos, worried. If that is true, then that means that Naruto and the others are in danger, since that is where Naruto is training today. We better go there and make sure he is alright, said Tsunade, concerned. With that, the three of them quickly leap out the window of the office and headed straight towards the area where Naruto was training, and hoping everything was all okay with him. Meanwhile, back in the forest, Naruto was trying his hardest to fight off Zen-Aku, who seemed to be stronger than him. All of a sudden Naruto was sent flying by Zen-Aku's crescent blade, and looked up to see Zen-Aku pointing his crescent blade at him and said, "Crescent blade, crescent wave." And a wave of purple energy came out of the blade and hit Naruto right in the chest and sent him to the ground hard on his back. Naruto looked up to see Zen-Aku looking down at him with the crescent blade pointed at his head. "Looks like you're not as strong as you thought you were, Naruto. Now I think I will end this little fight and claim what is mine," said Zen-Aku. With that, Zen-Aku raised the crescent blade and prepared to deliver the final blow, when all of a sudden Naruto heard Tsunade's voice say, "Get the hell away from my son," and look up to see his mother Tsunade coming towards him with her fist aimed right at Zen-Aku, ready to deliver a punch to Zen-Aku, when to Tsunade's surprise Zen-Aku grabbed her wrist with a thrust of his arm, sent Tsunade flying into a tree hard, and he then looked at her. "Nice try, but there is nothing you can do to stop me, you weak human," said Zen-Aku, smiling. "How the hell did you survive when you should have been dead when my son Naruto broke your mask, and what do you want with him?" demanded Tsunade, looking at Zen-Aku with a look of hate on her face. "If you must know, I managed to survive because, unnoticed to Naruto here at the time and the other rangers, there was just enough energy left in the mask to allow me to come back to life more powerful than ever before, and when I found Naruto here had been reborn, I managed to find a way to this world where I met Orochimaru and told him everything there was about Naruto here, and made a deal with him where if I help him get his hands on Sasuke Uchiha, then he would allow me to go after Naruto here by himself," replied Zen-Aku, laughing. "So you no longer need a host to survive, so what is it you want with my son, you jerk?" demanded Kushina as she appeared next to Tsunade. "If you must know, Naruto and I were bounded to each other for the past 3,000 years until he decided to break that bond and I was tossed aside, forgotten and thrown away. Well, no longer as I plan on taking Naruto here and merging with him once again to become one being. And since you two are in my way, then I guess I should kill you two off along with the other three here too," replied Zen-Aku with a laugh. With that, Zen-Aku pointed his crescent blade at Tsunade and Kushina and let out a blast of purple energy that headed straight towards them. Before the blast could reach them, Naruto appeared out of nowhere and stood in front of the two of them and took the full force of the blast that hit him right in the back and sunned in a shower of sparks and smoke and forced Naruto to demopper, and Tsunade and Kushina saw he was now out cold. "Naruto!" shouted Kushina as she went over to her son. "You creep, I am going to make you pay for hurting my son," said Tsunade, closing her fist close, looking at Zen-Aku with hate in her eyes. "Go ahead and try it, you weakling, as you are no match for me," said Zen-Aku. With that, Zen-Aku started to walk over to Tsunade with his crescent blade pointing at her, when from out of nowhere a beam of blue energy came and hit Zen-Aku right in the back and sent him to his knees. Zen-Aku turned around to see Kosmos staring at him with hate in her eyes. "Stay away from them, Zen-Aku," demanded Kosmos. "Why would I do that, girl?" asked Zen-Aku, curious. "Because they're under my protection and I would suggest you stay away from them if you value your life," replied Kosmos in an angry voice. "Why should I, and who are you anyways, girl?" asked Zen-Aku, more curious. "If you must know, I happen to be Animus, reborn as a human on this earth, and I will not you harm a hair on Naruto or any of his friends or family. So I highly suggest you go ahead and leave before something bad happens to you," replied Kosmos. With that, Kosmos fired another more powerful laser blast at Zen-Aku's feet to get her point across. "Fine, have it your way, Animus. I will leave for now. But I will be back soon to reclaim Naruto and merge with him once and for all, and that is a promise I attained to keep. So until we meet again, farewell," said Zen-Aku. With that, Zen-Aku disappeared in black light, leaving Kosmos and the others alone. Once he was gone, Kosmos saw Sakura, Kagura, and Anko running over to them. "Are you guys alright?" asked Sakura, worried. "Yeah, we are all fine, but I don't know about Naruto since he took the blast from Zen-Aku that was meant for Tsunade and Kushina," replied Kosmos sadly. "I wouldn't worry about Naruto, his ranger suit seemed to have protected him from the full force of that blast. But we should take him to the hospital to have him check out just in case," said Tsunade. "Yeah, and I would like to know how on earth Zen-Aku got here to our world in the first place," said Kushina. With that said, Kushina picked Naruto up in her arms and all of them quickly headed back to the village at once to make sure Naruto was going to be okay from Zen-Aku's attack. Once they got to the village and got to the hospital, the doctors quickly looked Naruto over and told Tsunade and Kushina expect from maybe having a huge headache Naruto would be just fine and that he would wake up real soon. With that, Tsunade and Kushina decide to go to Naruto's room to watch over him until he woke up. 2 hours later, the rest of Naruto girlfriends had come over to the hospital after finding out what had happened to Naruto when Sakura and Kosmos had told them that Zen-Aku had been the one who had told Orochimaru all about Naruto and that he attacked him in the forest hoping to defeat him so he could merge with Naruto once again to become one. With that, everyone headed to Naruto's room to see how he was doing. Once they got there and opened the door, they saw Naruto was wide awake with bandages covering some parts of his body, with both his mothers looking at him concerned. Naruto then looked in their direction and saw them staring at him. "Hi you guys. What brings you here to see me?" asked Naruto, forcing a smile on his face. "We came here to see you, Naruto, when Sakura and Kagura told us that Zen-Aku had come and injured you. So naturally we came over at once to make sure you were alright," replied Ino, worried. "Well, as you can all see, I am just fine and I should be able to leave here today since almost all of my injuries are healed," replied Naruto. "Well, that is good to hear. But how come you decide to fight Zen-Aku alone when Sakura, Kagura, and your aunt Anko could have help?" "You?" asked Rin, worried. "Because it was my fight alone and I didn't want anyone to get in my way of defeating Zen-Aku, as I could handle him alone," replied Naruto, angry. "That's just an excuse, Naruto, as Zen-Aku is more powerful than you and you just wanted to fight him by yourself as you still feel guilty for what you did as him when you wore his mask," yelled Akiza. "Yeah, and besides, you have to learn to accept the fact that you need to work with others as a team if you want to defeat somebody stronger than you," said Runo. "I know you're right, Runo. But Zen-Aku is too strong even if every ninja in the village decide to go after him. I just wish that somehow that Cole and the other rangers were here right now, as I know we could use their help to defeat Zen-Aku once and for all," said Naruto in a sad voice. "I worried about us that much, Merrick," said a male voice. With that, everyone turned in the direction of the voice and looked to see that standing just inside the room was the 5 Wild Force Rangers: Cole, Danny, Max, Taylor, and Alyssa, standing there looking at Naruto. "Cole, how on earth did you and the other rangers get here?" asked Naruto, shocked. "They're because I sent them here to help you, Merrick," said a female voice. All of a sudden there was a bright flash of white light, and when it faded, standing in the middle of the room was none other than Princess Shayla. "Princess Shayla, it is good to see you again," said Naruto, getting off the bed and bowing to Princess Shayla on one knee. "Yes, it is good to see you again as well, Merrick, or do you prefer to be called by your new name of Naruto?" said Princess Shayla. "I hate to interrupt this little reunion of yours, but care to us how you all got here in the first place?" asked Tsunade. "We're here to help your son and our fellow ranger Naruto here defeat Zen-Aku, and how we got here is because of Princess Shayla, who used her own life force to bring us in the animarium since Zordon came to us and told us that we were needed here," replied Taylor. "But if you are all here, then who is fighting Master Org back on your Earth?" asked Kushina. "No one, because we managed to defeat Master Org about a month ago when Zordon came to us and Princess Shayla and told us that Merrick was reborn on a different Earth and went by the name of Naruto, and that Zen-Aku was still alive and that we need to go after him and help your son defeat him once and for all," replied Alyssa. "So if you came with the animarium, then that means it started Okami." "Yes, it is floating above your village right now in the sky as we speak," said Max. "So if Princess Shayla here used her own life force to bring you and the animarium here, does that mean what I think it means?" asked Kyubi. "Yes, Kyubi, I am no longer alive and I am just here as a spirit to give Naruto here a gift before I move on to the afterlife. replied Princess Shayla sadly. What do you mean you're no longer alive, princess? You can't be dead, as the animarium can't live without you being around, said Naruto with tears in his eyes. I am afraid that I am Naruto, and I am truly sorry for that, but it was the only way for the Rangers and the animarium to come to this earth. But before I go, I have something to give to you, as I have the feeling that you can use it in your fight against Zen-Aku and the evil that threatens this world, replied Princess Shayla sadly. With that, Princess Shayla put something in Naruto's hands, and he saw it was 3 new crystal orbs that he never saw before, that were gold, silver and black, and inside of them was a dragon, phoenix, and a cobra. I don't believe it, the 3 wild Zords of legend, said Kosmos. What do you mean by that? Asked Danny, confused. What I mean, about 3,000 years ago there was a legend of 3 wild Zords of such power that they could have easily take down Master Org by themselves. But it was only a legend until now, since these 3 crystal orbs prove they exist, replied Kosmos. Yes, and I am giving them to Naruto here, as they could come in useful in the battle against Zen-Aku, as they can combine with the Predazord for more power. But I am afraid that my time is up here with you all. But I wish you the best of luck and hope you can defeat Zen-Aku and save this world from evil rangers, said Princess Shayla. With that, Princess Shayla aura of gold sparks, leaving everyone alone, and Sakura could see that Naruto had tears coming down his face. Naruto, are you going to be alright? Asked Sakura, worried. Yeah, I am going to be just fine, Sakura. But the fact is that Zen-Aku has to be taken down once and for all before he hurts anyone else, replied Naruto. Yes, and we will take him down together as a team, said Cole. You got that right, Cole, as I know now that I can't face Zen-Aku by myself anymore, said Naruto, shaking Cole's hand. All of a sudden a Anbu came running into the hospital room and looked like he was hurt, and he looked at Tsunade. Lady Tsunade, we have a big problem, said the Anbu in a weak voice. What is it, and who did this to you? Demanded Tsunade, running over to the Anbu. Some human wolf-like creature came out of nowhere and attacked the Hyuga compound and took Lady Hinata hostage. We tried our best to stop him, but he was too powerful for my squad. But before he left, he told me to give you a message saying that he wants your son Naruto to face him in battle, or else he will kill Lady Hinata, replied the Anbu. With that, the Anbu fell to the floor out cold, and Tsunade looked at the others with a sad look on her face. This isn't good. If Zen-Aku took Hinata hostage, then he must be planning a trap for you, Naruto, so he can beat you in battle by using Hinata as a bargaining chip in order for you to surrender so he could merge with you. I suggest that you stay here while I send a few squads of Anbu after Zen-Aku to rescue Hinata, said Tsunade in a sad voice. That's not a good idea, Ka-san, as if I don't show up, then Zen-Aku will kill Hinata for sure if he even senses any Anbu going after him. Besides, me and the other rangers are more than capable of taking Zen-Aku out than any of the ninja here in the village, said Naruto. Naruto's right, we have more experience dealing with orgs than anyone here in your village. So don't worry about Hinata, we will go after Zen-Aku and bring Hinata back unharmed. That is a promise, said Cole, putting a hand on Tsunade's shoulder to reassure her. Alright, have it your way. But if you fail to bring down Zen-Aku, then I will send some Anbu to come after you and rescue Hinata, said Tsunade. Of course, Lady Tsunade. But we will take down Zen-Aku once and for all and bring Hinata back to her family, said Alyssa. Alright you guys, we have a org to stop and an innocent girl to save. Let's move out, shouted Cole. With that, the 6 Wild Force Rangers quickly ran out of the room to head to the place where Zen-Aku was to stop him once and for all and save Hinata. Once they were gone, Kushina walked over to Tsunade and looked down at her. I wouldn't worry about them, Tsunade, especially Naruto, now that he is willing to accept help from the other rangers. I just know they will defeat Zen-Aku and bring Hinata back safe and sound, said Kushina in a reassuring voice. I hope for their sake, and Hinata's, you're right, Kushina, said Tsunade. Meanwhile, in the forest outside the village, Zen-Aku was waiting for Naruto to show up to save Hinata, who was tied up in some ropes next to him. I swear when Naruto-kun comes here to rescue me, he will make you pay dearly for ever kidnapping me, you freak of nature, shouted Hinata. Oh, you would be wrong, my dear girl, as I plan on Naruto coming to rescuing you, and once he does I will beat him, and then me and him will merge as one once again, and this world will feel the wrath of Zen-Aku, replied Zen-Aku, laughing. Zen-Aku, stop right there. said Naruto's voice. Zen-Aku looked in the direction of the voice and saw Naruto stop 50 feet in front of him and then saw the rest of the Wild Force Rangers appear next to him. Well, looks like you decided to finally show up, Naruto, and what a surprise to see you brought the other Rangers to help you fight me, said Zen-Aku. Let Hinata go, Zen-Aku, if you wish to live another day, demanded Taylor. I don't think so, Yellow Ranger, as it seems she has feeling for Naruto here, and the only way she is going to be set free if you all face me in battle and destroy me, as I am going to enjoy tearing every one of you apart piece by piece, said Zen-Aku. Let's not going to happen, Zen-Aku. You guys ready? Said Cole. We're all ready to go, Cole, replied Naruto. Alright then, let's do it, said Cole. With that, Cole and the others brought out their growl phones and Naruto took out his lunar collar and they all pressed the button in the middle and shouted, "Wild Access." And there was a bright flash of color light, and when it faded, standing where Naruto and the others once were now the Power Rangers ready to fight. Blazing Lion, said Cole. Noble Tiger, said Alyssa. Surging Shark, said Max. Iron Bison, said Danny. Soaring Eagle, said Taylor. Howling Wolf, said Naruto. Guardians of the Earth. Untied We Roar, said Cole. Power Rangers Wild Force, said all the Rangers together. Give up, Zen-Aku, you have no chance against all 6 of us, said Naruto. Well, I beg to differ, old friend, as I am more powerful than ever before and not even all 6 of you Rangers can take me down for good, said Zen-Aku, pointing his crescent blade at the Rangers. Then I guess we will have to prove you wrong then, Zen-Aku, by destroying you once and for all. Let's do it, you guys, said Cole. With that, all the Rangers took out their weapons and charged at Zen-Aku, who charged at them as well. Zen-Aku quickly swiped his crescent blade at Danny and Max, only for Taylor and Alyssa to block it with their weapons, while Cole and Naruto leap into the air and hit Zen-Aku with their weapons and sent him flying backwards, and then Max and Danny hit Zen-Aku with their weapons, followed by Taylor and Alyssa, and when they looked to see what kind of damage they did to Zen-Aku, they look in shock to see that Zen-Aku was still standing and look unharmed. I don't believe it, our weapons didn't even scratch him, said Max, shocked. Yes, they didn't, as I told you all before. I am too powerful now for even the 6 of you combined, said Zen-Aku, laughing. We will see about that, Zen-Aku. Animarium armor, shouted Cole. With that, Cole took his belt buckle and held it up in front of him and opened it up, and he was then engulfed in red light, and when it faded, Cole was now wearing gold armor with wings on the back of him that were attached to a backpack in the image of a falcon. Well, nice little trick, Red Ranger, but it will not make any difference, said Zen-Aku, looking at Cole. That is where you would be wrong, Zen-Aku. Animarium armor laser blast fire, said Cole. With that, a red beam of light came out of the red jewel on Cole's chest and headed straight at Zen-Aku and hit him in the chest and sent him to the ground hard in a shower of sparks and smoke. When Zen-Aku looked up, he saw Cole and the other Rangers standing in front of him with their weapons drawn. It's time to end this right now, Zen-Aku. Jungle Blaster power up, said Cole. Lunar Q strike mode, said Naruto, converting the Lunar Q into strike. With that, Cole and the other Rangers combined their weapons to form the Jungle Blaster, while Naruto used the Lunar Q's laser pool to trap Zen-Aku in the middle of it and put his animal crystals on the end of it and pointed the Lunar Q at them. Before Zen-Aku could react, the Rangers launched their weapons' special attacks that combined into a huge ball of green energy and hit Zen-Aku right in his chest, and he went down to the ground in a shower of sparks and smoke, and then there was a huge explosion. Once it was gone, Naruto quickly ran over to Hinata and took off his helmet and looked at her. Hinata, are you alright? Asked Naruto, concerned, as he untied Hinata from the ropes. Yes, thanks to you rescuing me, Naruto-kun, replied Hinata, blushing. With that said, Hinata kissed Naruto right on the lips to his surprise, and when she broke away from him, Naruto now had a huge blush on his face and he looked stunned to the other Rangers. Hinata, not to be rude, but why did you just kiss me on my lips for? Asked Naruto, still stunned. Because 1, for rescuing me from that monster, and 2, because I am in love with you, replied Hinata with her face a bright red. You mean to tell me that you are in love with MSE? Yes, ever since I first laid eyes on you when you came to the academy. But I was too afraid to tell you the truth until now, in fear that you wouldn't feel the same way about me, replied Hinata with tears in her eyes. All of a sudden, Hinata felt Naruto take her face in his right hand and look at her with his eyes. Of course I feel the same way about you Hinata, as you are a beautiful and caring young woman, and I know once the others know about my feeling or you, they will not mind sharing me with you, as I love them all the same way. So I can honestly say that I love you with all my heart," said Naruto. With that, Naruto kissed Hinata right on the lips, and after a minute he pulled away from her and he saw Hinata blush a deeper shade of red from where he kissed her. "I hate to spoil your moment, you two. But do you think we can head back to the village so we can tell your mothers that we defeated Zen-Aku and saved Hinata?" said Max, getting impatient. "Yeah, you're right, we should head back and tell everyone that Zen-Aku is gone for good," said Naruto, putting his helmet back on. "I wouldn't be so fast to judge Blue Ranger," said Zen-Aku's voice. With that, the Rangers looked in the direction of the voice and saw that Zen-Aku was still alive and appeared unharmed. "I don't believe it, even our combined powers didn't even destroy him," said Danny. "Yes, and now I think it's time for me to turn this battle up a bit," said Zen-Aku, laughing. With that, Zen-Aku was covered by black light, and when it faded, Zen-Aku had grown to the size of a Megazord and now was towering over the Rangers. "I think it's time to bring out the Zords," said Taylor. "You're right, Taylor, let's do it," said Cole. With that, the Rangers took out their crystal sabers and Pete pointed them to the sky, while Cole took his and put it in the Falcon Summoner and pointed to the sky, while Naruto waved his lunar Q and an arch of green light appeared heading towards the sky, and all the Rangers said together, "Wild Zords descend." And the ground beneath their feet started to shake as the Wild Zords appeared heading towards Zen-Aku, and then the Rangers put their crystal sabers together and said, "Wild Zords combine," and the first 5 Wild Zords combined to form the Isis Megazord and jump on the Soul Bird and then went inside the Isis Megazord, while Naruto's Zords combine into the Predazord and Naruto grabbed Hinata as he disappeared into silver light, and then he and Hinata reappeared inside the Predazord's cockpit, and Hinata was amazed at the sight of the Predazord's cockpit as Naruto slipped the lunar Q into the council in front of him. "Alright, ready for battle. Predazord, awaken," said Naruto. Zen-Aku looked at the 2 Megazords and smiled. "Nice, but it will take more than those 2 Megazords you got to take me down," said Zen-Aku. "Then how about one more?" said Animus as she appeared next to the Isis Megazord and Predazord. "Kosmos, what are you doing here?" asked Naruto, confused. "What does it look like, Naruto?" "I am here to help you and the other Rangers take down Zen-Aku once and for all," replied Animus. "Well then, thanks for showing up, Animus, as we are going to need any help we can get taking Zen-Aku down," said Cole. "Now since that is settled, how about we take Zen-Aku down once and for all," said Max. With that, the 3 Megazords charged Zen-Aku. Animus and the Isis Megazord hit Zen-Aku with their right arms, only to have Zen-Aku grab a hold of them and then hit both Megazords with his crescent blade, sending them backwards. The Predazord tried hitting Zen-Aku with its alligator staff, only to have Zen-Aku block it with his crescent blade, and then fired 2 beams of light from his eyes that hit the Predazord right in the chest, sending it to the ground hard on its back. All of the sudden, Zen-Aku then fired a blast of purple energy from his crescent blade that hit the 3 Megazords and sent them to the ground hard on their backs in a shower of sparks and smoke. The Rangers look up to see Zen-Aku slowly coming towards them. "Man, this isn't good. Even with 3 Megazords, we still can't bring Zen-Aku down," said Taylor. "There must be some way to defeat him," said Max. "I might just know of way, Max. Naruto, how about using those 3 new Wild Zords that Princess Shayla gave to you before she went on to the afterlife and combine them with your Predazord," said Cole. "You're right, Cole, my 3 new Wild Zords might have what it takes to bring down Zen-Aku once and for all by combining them with the Predazord," said Naruto. "Well, I suggest you call them now, Naruto, before Zen-Aku decides to destroy us for good," said Danny. "Alright then, here goes nothing. Wild Zords descend," said Naruto as he brought out his 3 new crystal orbs. With that, a tune came out from the crystals just as Zen-Aku had gotten over to the 3 Megazords and was about to deliver the final blow when all of a sudden 3 beams of light came out of nowhere and hit Zen-Aku right in the chest, sending him backwards a couple of yards. The Rangers looked in the direction of where the blast came from and saw the 3 new Wild Zords coming towards them. The Phoenix Wild Zord looked like the Falcon Wild Zord, except it was a gold color and flames were coming out of the tips of the wings and tail. The Dragon Wild Zord was silver and looked like the dragons of Western legend and the Cobra Wild Zord was all black with a hood coming out of the head with red markings on it with its fangs bearing out of its mouth. Zen-Aku got up to see the 3 wild Zords. Where the hell did those 3 new wild Zords come from? Asked Zen-Aku shocked. Wouldn't you like to know, Zen-Aku? But I think it's time for you to be destroyed once and for all. Wild Zords combine, said Naruto. With that, the 3 wild Zords started to combine with the Predazord. The Dragon and Phoenix Wild Zord split apart and attached to the Predazord to form armor as the Dragon Wild Zord's head split apart and attached to the Alligator Zord's head as armor, while both the Dragon and Phoenix Wild Zord's wings combine and attach to the back of the Predazord and became wings. Finally, the Cobra Wild Zord transform into a sword and attach itself to the head of the Hammerhead Shark Wild Zord. Alright, Super Predazord, awaken, said Naruto. Zen-Aku looked at the Super Predazord and smiled. So what if you got new wild Zords, Naruto? It will not make any difference in this battle as I am more powerful than any Megazord, said Zen-Aku. Well then let me prove you wrong, Zen-Aku, by destroying you once and for all, said Naruto. Go ahead and try, Naruto, as you will learn you can't beat me, said Zen-Aku. With that, Zen-Aku charged the Super Megazord as it charged him as well. Zen-Aku slash at the Super Predazord with the Crescent Blade only to have it blocked by the Cobra Zord, and then the Super Predazord hit Zen-Aku with its left arm and sent Zen-Aku backwards a couple of feet. Zen-Aku then looked up to see the Super Predazord fired a stream of fire from the head of the alligator that hit him in the chest and sent him to the ground hard. Alright, time to end this once and for all. Super Blue Moonwave, shouted Naruto. Zen-Aku managed to recover just in time to see a beam of silver and gold come out of the Super Predazord and come at him at a fast speed and hit him right in the chest as sparks and smoke came out of his body. I can't believe this. I have been defeated by 3 new wild Zords, said Zen-Aku weakly. With that, Zen-Aku fell to the ground and there was then a huge explosion. Once the smoke was cleared, there wasn't a trace of Zen-Aku anywhere to be seen. Finally, Zen-Aku has been defeated for good, said Naruto with a sigh. With that, Naruto grabbed Hinata and leaped out of the Super Predazord and landed on the ground and demorph, and and Hinata saw Kosmos and the other rangers running over to him. Naruto, you did it. Zen-Aku has finally been defeated, said Kosmos as she gave Naruto a kiss on the lips. What did you expect from me, Kosmos? Thanks to my 3 new wild Zords, Zen-Aku is gone for good, said Naruto with a blush. While that is good to know, as I think it is good we don't have to worry about Zen-Aku anymore. With Zen-Aku gone, we don't have to worry about fighting any more orgs ever again, said Danny. You got that right, Danny, said Max, giving Danny a high five. While I wouldn't worry about Zen-Aku as he is gone for good now, but we still have to worry about the evil that Zordon told us about that we need to help Naruto defeat and save this world, said Taylor in a serious. You're right about that, Taylor. But I think right now we should go back to the village and celebrate our victory over Zen-Aku, said Cole, smiling. I agree with you, Cole. I think defeating Zen-Aku calls for a celebration, and besides, I image my parents and the others must be worried about us, said Naruto. With that, they all started to head back to the village to tell the others how everything went. Once they got back to the village and told the others about what happened to Zen-Aku and that Hinata and Naruto were in love, they decided to celebrate their victory over Zen-Aku on the Animarium, and once they got there, everyone was telling stories about each other, and Cole and the other rangers were telling everyone about their battles against Master Org as the Wild Zords were watching over them. As the rangers were telling the others about the battle against Master Org, Sasuke was sitting in a corner of the Animarium away from everyone else, looking at Naruto with anger in his eyes. I can't believe that Naruto has so much power at his control. It should belong to me so I can use it against my brother and kill him. No matter what I do, I am still weaker than Naruto is. Maybe it's time that I go to Orochimaru for the power I need, as I can tell that this curse mark he gave me is a great power. Too bad that Naruto sealed it up. But maybe if I go to Orochimaru, then he might be able to unseal it so I can have the power to kill my brother Itachi and avenge my clan's death. Yes, that is what I will do, and no one will stop me from getting the power I seek, not even that Dobi Naruto, thought Sasuke with anger and hate in his eyes directed at Naruto. It now had been 3 months since Naruto had defeated Zen-Aku with the help of Cole and the other rangers, and now Sakura, Runo, Kyuubi, Okami, and Anko were on the animarium with Cole and the other rangers watching Naruto and Alyssa spar against one another. "It's hard to believe that it has already been 3 months now since Zen-Aku was defeated," said Sakura. "I know what you mean, Sakura. Naruto has been acting much happier since he and the other rangers defeated him once and for all," said Runo. "Well, that is good to know. But I want to know what Orochimaru has planned for Sasuke by giving him that curse mark," said Kyuubi, curious. "I don't know the answer to that, Kyuubi. But knowing Orochimaru, it isn't something very good," said Anko. "Well, I just hope that when the time comes Naruto is ready to face Orochimaru in battle," said Okami, worried. "I wouldn't worry about Naruto U4, as with all the training he has been doing he is more than ready to face whatever comes his way, and of course we will be there to help him out if he needs it," said Taylor. "You're right about that, Taylor. But from seeing the way he is sparring with Alyssa, he will ended up losing to her since she was trained in martial arts all her life," said Max, smiling. "Well, my bet is on Naruto wiping the floor with Alyssa since he is a ninja now," said Sakura. "Well, I agree with Max. Alyssa will wipe the floor with Naruto no problem," said Danny. "Well, I think it doesn't matter which one of them wins, as it is only practice. Besides, we all need to work on our skills if we want to face this great evil that Zordon said was coming to this earth," said Cole. With that, everyone went back to watching the spar between Naruto and Alyssa, with neither one giving the other the advantage. After dodging a few attacks from the other, Naruto and Alyssa were now looking at each other with a look that told the other person that they were not ready to give up yet, as their faces were covered in sweat. "So Alyssa ready to admit defeat yet?" asked Naruto, smiling. "Not on your life, Naruto. I am far from finished," replied Alyssa, smiling as well. "Well, don't say I didn't ask you," said Naruto. With that, Naruto quickly charged at Alyssa with his right fist, ready to end their spar, only for Alyssa to roll out of the way of Naruto's attack and quickly kick Naruto right in the chest, sending him flying back a couple of feet. Naruto quickly recovered and went back on the offensive with a flying kick, only to see Alyssa grab his leg in mid-air and toss him right over her shoulder and to the ground hard on his back. Naruto looked up to see Alyssa standing over him with a grin on her face. "Looks like you win this time, Alyssa," said Naruto as he got back on his feet. "Yeah, I did. But you definitely improved more since the last time I saw you back when you were Merrick," said Alyssa. "Thanks, that means a lot to me, Alyssa," said Naruto, shaking her hand. "If you two are done talking, it's about time we ate our lunch," said Max. With that said, Naruto and Alyssa head over to where Max and the others were sitting and took a seat on the ground, and everyone started to eat their lunch. As they were eating, Naruto looked up to see Shikamaru coming over to them. "Shikamaru, what bring you up here to the animarium?" asked Sakura, curious. "I came here to get Naruto, as Lady Tsunade needs him for a mission that I will be leading," replied Shikamaru. "What kind of mission is it that you need Naruto to go with you?" asked Runo. "I am afraid I can't say, as I can only tell Naruto what it is about once I gathered up the other members of the team that I will lead on this mission. But I can say I wouldn't be here to get Naruto if it wasn't something important," replied Shikamaru. "Well, if this mission is so important, then I guess I better go with you, Shikamaru, and find out what it is all about," said Naruto, getting up. "Naruto, are you sure it is wise to go with Shikamaru, as this mission could be dangerous?" said Runo. "I am very sure about it, Runo. But I promise I will come back as soon as I can," replied Naruto, smiling. With that said, Naruto and Shikamaru headed out to gather up the rest of the team that they needed for the mission. After an hour, Naruto standing in front of the gates of the village with Kiba, Neji, and Choji. And they were all looking at Shikamaru, who was standing in front of them. "Alright, can anyone tell me what we are all doing here?" asked Kiba, confused. "Yeah, that is what I would like to know as well," said Neji. "So Shikamaru, cared to tell us why you call all of us here for?" asked Choji to his friend. "Well, since we are all here now, I guess I will tell you what our mission is about," replied Shikamaru. "Well, care to tell us what our mission is?" asked Kiba, annoyed. "Of course, you see, our mission is to receive Sasuke Uchiha, who has left the village to go to Orochimaru for power," replied Shikamaru. "So how come we are being assigned this mission, since it should go to the Anbu?" asked Neji. "Because of the fact that Lady Tsunade couldn't spare any ninja, and we are all that is left to go after Sasuke. I will not lie to you, for this mission will be dangerous, as Sasuke will not be traveling alone, and we will need every advantage we can get in order to get him back," replied Shikamaru. Well, if Sasuke needs us then I am in, as we don't know what Orochimaru has planned for him once he gets to the Sound Village, said Naruto. I agree with Naruto, if one of our ninja is in trouble then it is our duty to bring him back no matter the risk, said Choji. Well, I am glad to hear that from you all. Now that we know what our mission is and we have everything we need, we should head out right now before Sasuke leaves the borders of the Land of Fire, said Shikamaru. With that they started to head out when all of a sudden Naruto turned around and saw Sakura running over to him and the others calling out his name. Sakura, what are you doing here? Asked Naruto looking at Sakura. What does it look like I am doing? I decided to join you and the others in bringing back Sasuke since Lady Tsunade told me what happened and I figured you might need my help, replied Sakura. I am afraid join us on this mission, Sakura, said Shikamaru. Why not? I could be a big help, asked Sakura confused. Because you will only slow us down since you know Sasuke very well, and besides I don't want Naruto to protect you on this mission as time is important on this mission, replied Shikamaru. I have to agree with Shikamaru, I don't want to worry about your safety, Sakura, as you mean the world to me. But you have my word, I will bring Sasuke back to the village if it is the last thing I do, believe it, said Naruto smiling. That is a big promise to make, Naruto. Are you sure you can keep it? Said Kiba. Of course I can, Kiba, as I never break a promise, replied Naruto. Well, in that case, I think it's time we head out before we lose Sasuke's trail, said Shikamaru. With that said they headed out of the village, leaving Sakura standing alone watching them head out into the forest. Good luck on this mission, Naruto, as I have the feeling you are going to be needing it, said Sakura. Meanwhile, Orochimaru's most powerful ninja, the Sound Four, were heading back to the Sound Village carrying a coffin that had Sasuke contained in it. So Tayuya, do you mind if you carry this brat for a while? Asked Jirobo. Why should I carry the Uchiha brat? You're strong enough and big enough to carry him all the way back to the Sound Village, replied Tayuya. Tayuya has a point, you're the biggest one out of all of us, so you're perfect to carry the brat until we get to Lord Orochimaru, said Kimimaro. You're calling me fat? Demanded Jirobo angry. Yes I am, if you think that is what I am trying to say to you, replied Kimimaro. What about I kill you right here and now if you ever say anything like that again, said Jirobo angry. I like to see you try that, you fat pig, said Kimimaro. If you two want to fight then wait until we get back to the Sound Village and deliver the Uchiha kid to Lord Orochimaru, said Saken. But what about the Leaf Village? They probably will try to send some of their ninja to come receive their precious Uchiha back from us, said Tayuya worried. Well, if they do then we'll just get rid of them for good and continue on our way to Lord Orochimaru, said Saken. With that they continued on their way when all of a sudden from out of nowhere a giant ball of energy came out from the trees and struck all of them, sending them flying down to the ground hard. When they look up they saw Shikamaru and the others standing 30 feet away from them, with Naruto holding the Sword of Darkness and the red Kusar saber with the blades cross-pointed at them. Who are you guys? Demanded Kimimaro. We are ninja from the Hidden Leaf Village and we have come to bring back Sasuke Uchiha to the village, replied Shikamaru. So we suggest you four just hand Sasuke over to us, as we don't want to harm any of you, especially such a beautiful young lady that is with you, added Naruto, with made Tayuya blush a bright red from Naruto calling her beautiful. I don't think so, you punks. We're bringing Sasuke to Lord Orochimaru like we were ordered to. Jirobo cared to get rid of our little problem, said Saken looking at Jirobo. It will be my pleasure to take care of these five, said Jirobo smiling. With that quickly went through a series of hand signs and brought his hands to the ground and said, Earth, prison dome of magnificent nothingness. And all of a sudden the four genin were consumed by a giant dome of earth, and once that was done Jirobo went over to the dome and placed both his hands on it and started to suck chakra out of the dome. Meanwhile inside the dome Naruto and the others were trying the hardest to break through the dome of earth that Jiraiya had created without any success, and all of them started to feel their bodies starting to feel weak. I can't believe this, we tried breaking through this stupid barrier with our jutsu and it doesn't have any effect on it, and I am starting to feel weak, like my chakra is being sucked out of my body, said Kiba angry. That's because this isn't any barrier, it is meant to trap us and suck the very chakra out of our bodies until we die. But there must be a way out of here, said Shikamaru. Well, I know of a way, but it is kinda dangerous, said Naruto. If you know of way of breaking out of here, then I prefer taking that chance and end up dead than having my chakras slowly being drained from my body and die slowly, said Neji. I agree with Neji, any chance of getting out of here is better than none. So I say go for it, Naruto, said Choji. Thanks a lot for saying that, you too. So I suggest you all stand back as far as possible as I need all the room I can get, said Naruto. With that, everyone went to the other side of the dome to give Naruto the room he needed to carry out his plan. Once they got to the other side, Naruto bit his thumb and wiped some blood on a scroll he had, and with a cloud of smoke Naruto had the falcon talons on his arms. Naruto then started to gather chakra into the falcon talons and they glowed blue. Naruto then charged the wall of the dome with the falcon talons, and once they hit the wall there was a loud explosion and a cloud of dust, and when it cleared there was now a huge hole in the wall, and everyone quickly went out the hole in the wall that Naruto had made. Meanwhile Jirobo had felt the explosion and wonder what had happened. When he looked in the direction of where the explosion came from, he saw Naruto and the others outside the dome looking at him. How the hell did you 5 punks escape my jutsu? Demanded Jirobo. Simple, I use my falcon talons infused with my charka and went for the weakest part of your little dome and made a hole which allowed us to escape, replied Naruto smiling. Well, in that case I should just kill you all right now and join the rest of my team who are on their way to Lord Orochimaru, said Jirobo. Well, in that case then I will defeat you myself, said Choji. Choji, you can't beat this guy on your own, said Kiba. I have to, as we don't have any other choice. If we all fight him then the others will get away with Sasuke. At least this way you 4 will have them outnumbered, replied Choji. I hate to admit it, Choji, but you're right, but just be careful, said Shikamaru. Of course I will be, Shikamaru. Now just go and I will rejoin you while I can, said Choji smiling. With that the Shikamaru and the others left the area to go after the rest of the Sound 4, leaving Choji to fight Jirobo by himself. After 15 minutes of leaping from tree to tree, Naruto and the others had finally caught up to the rest of the Sound 4, who they saw were resting guarding the coffin Sasuke was in. Shikamaru told them they had a better chance of catching them off guard if they launch a surprise attack on them and told them his plan. Before they could get into position to launch their attack, they suddenly were thrown into the air into the trees and saw they were caught in what looked like spider webbing, and saw Kimimaro and the rest of the Sound 4 looking at them. Well, looks like you 4 fell into my trap, said Kimimaro smiling. Let us go, you jerk, before something bad happens to you, said Kiba. How do you expect to do that when you 4 are tied up? Tayuya, Sakin, you 2 go on ahead while I take care of these 4 myself, said Kimimaro. Fine, but you better get rid of them fast, unlike Jirobo failed to do, said Sakin. Of course, Sakin. I will make it fast and painful for them, replied Kimimaro. With that, Sakin and Tayuya took off, leaving Kimimaro take care of the 4 genin. Now who wants to be the first one to die? Asked Kimimaro laughing. How about you? Said Neji. Before Kimimaro could figure out what Neji meant by that, he looked in shock as Neji quickly cut the webbing that was holding him and quickly freed the others as well. How the hell did you cut my webbing, brat, when it is impossible to do so? Demanded Kimimaro angry. I simply use my gentle fist to cut your webbing at the weakest point and escape and free my friends. Now that I have explained that, I think it's time for me to kill you, replied Neji. Go ahead and try, kid. I will kill you and your friends, no problem, said Kimimaro. Neji, are you sure you can take care of us? Naruto concerned. I don't know, but I had to do it alone as the other 2 are getting away with Sasuke. So just go on without me as I will be fine, replied Neji. Well then, good luck and just be careful with this creep, said Kiba. Of course I will, said Neji with a weak smile. With that, Naruto and the others went off after Tayuya and Sakin, leaving Neji alone to fight Kimimaro. Meanwhile, Sakin and Tayuya were continuing on their way to the Sound Village, with Tayuya carrying Sasuke, when of a sudden from out of nowhere they were attacked by Naruto, Shikamaru, and Kiba, who pounced on Tayuya and took the coffin that Sasuke was in away from her. Alright you 2, we got Sasuke back. Now let's head back to the village fast before those 2 come after us, said Shikamaru. With that, the 3 of them started to head back to the village as fast as they could. After only running for 5 minutes straight, they were attacked by Sakin and Tayuya, who had managed to catch up to them, and Kiba lost his grasp on the coffin containing Sasuke, and Sakin grabbed it and tossed it to Tayuya, who caught it in her hands. Give that back, you jerks! Shouted Kiba. I think not, kid, and since you and your friends are trouble for us, I think I will kill myself, said Sakin, smiling. With that, Sakin charged at Kiba and hit in the face with his fist, sending Kiba to the ground with Sakin following him. Shikamaru, we got to help Kiba, that guy is too powerful for him to face alone, said Naruto, worried. I know, Naruto, which is why I am going to help him while you get Sasuke back from that female ninja. Is that understood? Said Shikamaru. Understood, Shikamaru, replied Naruto. With that, Shikamaru jumped off the branch to go help Kiba. Once he was gone, Naruto looked at Tayuya, who appeared ready to fight. Alright, I am going to ask you this once. Hand over Sasuke before I have to hurt you, as I don't really want to hurt a pretty girl like you if I had to, demanded Naruto. Never, because Lord Orochimaru ordered us bring Sasuke to him no matter what, and I am not about to fail him now, replied Tayuya. Fine, but before I go through with my threat, I want to know why a nice girl like you is serving an evil person like Orochimaru when I can. Tell from your eyes you know what you are doing is wrong and you don't really want to fight me? Asked Naruto. If you must know, it is because Orochimaru took me in when no one else would and trained me to become a ninja, so I feel I have no choice but to follow his orders or face his wrath, replied Tayuya in a sad tone. If you are afraid of Orochimaru, then you have nothing to fear, as I promise you, if you hand Sasuke over and come back to the village with me, then I will make sure nothing bad happens to you, said Naruto. How can you make a promise like that when you don't know what Orochimaru is capable of? Asked Tayuya. Because I have faced people more evil than him before and I have come out on top, and you have my word as a shinobi I will protect you with my life from Orochimaru even if I die. So how about you hand Sasuke over and come back to the village with me, and I will make sure nothing bad happens to you? Replied Naruto as he started to walk over to her with his hand out. Before Naruto could get any nearer to Tayuya, he was hit by a fist that hit him right in the chest and sent him into the tree trunk. When Naruto looked up, he saw a man with white hair and gray eyes with 2 black dots on his head, dressed in the same clothes as Tayuya, and he didn't look too happy. Kimimaro, what are you doing here? Asked Tayuya, shocked and a little scared. What does it look like to you, Tayuya? I am here to make sure that Lord Orochimaru's vessel is delivered, since it appears that you and the others couldn't do it for him. Now take care of this little genin while I take the Uchiha to Lord Orochimaru, and when you are done come join me, or else I will kill you right here. Is that understood? Replied Kimimaro. I understand you, Kimimaro, it will be done, replied Tayuya, bowing. Good, now if you excuse me I will take the Uchiha and be on my way, said Kimimaro. With that, Kimimaro picked up the coffin with Sasuke in it and took off, leaving Tayuya to finish off Naruto. I am very sorry I had to kill you, but I have my orders and I can't disobey them, said Tayuya, sadly looking Naruto in the face. I know you are. But you know as well as I do, when you are done with me, Kimimaro will just kill you, as I saw it in his eyes, said Naruto. And how would you know he would do that? Asked Tayuya, surprised. Because Orochimaru had planned on killing Kin when she failed her mission and help us out. But thanks to me protecting her, she is safe and sound, and Orochimaru can't touch her, as he can't do to you if you help me get Sasuke back, replied Naruto. How can I be sure if I help you get Sasuke Uchiha back that you will protect me from Orochimaru? Asked Tayuya, curious. Because I am a ninja of the hidden leaf and I swear to protect all those who need help no matter what, as that is my ninja way. So if you help me, then I will make sure you are well protected from Orochimaru, replied Naruto, smiling. Fine, I will help you get your friend back. But if you fail to keep your promise to protect me from Orochimaru, then you will pay for making me betray him, said Tayuya, helping Naruto to his feet. You have my word, Tayuya, no harm will come to you. Now let's go after your friend Kimimaro, and along the way I want you to tell me what Orochimaru has planned for Sasuke, replied Naruto. With that, the two of them took off right after Kimimaro. Meanwhile, in a clearing, Kimimaro had stopped to rest before continuing his journey to the Sound Village, when all of a sudden he saw Naruto and Tayuya come out of the trees and stop a couple of feet in front of him. Well, looks like you failed to follow my orders to kill this genin Tayuya, and he managed to make you a traitor to Lord Orochimaru. Well, I guess that means I will have to kill you after all, said Kimimaro. That's not going to happen, Kimimaro. Tayuya is under my protection and I will not let you anywhere near her as long as I live. So just give up and hand Sasuke over before I have to kill you, as I know what Orochimaru plans are for Sasuke now, thanks to Tayuya, said Naruto. I think not, you punk, as I will not let you take Lord Orochimaru's vessel away from me, said Kimimaro. Fine, then have it your way. I will take Sasuke back by force, said Naruto. With that, Naruto prepared to attack Kimimaro when all of a sudden the coffin that contained Sasuke started to shake very violently and chakra started to leak out. After a few seconds the shaking stopped, the coffin broke apart as a cloud of smoke appeared. When it cleared, standing in front of everyone was Sasuke with his back to Naruto, laughing. Sasuke, what is the matter with you? Asked Naruto, worried. Before Naruto could get near Sasuke, Sasuke took off into the trees, them alone. Naruto decided to run after Sasuke only to be blocked by Kimimaro with one of his bones in his hands as a weapon pointed at Naruto. Where do you think you are going, you punk? You still have to face me, said Kimimaro as he slashed at Naruto with his bone weapon only to have Naruto dodge it. Man, I have to defeat this guy fast if I want to catch up to Sasuke. But something tells me he is more powerful than he looks, thought Naruto, worried. Naruto looked up to see Kimimaro prepare to attack him again with his weapon. When all of a sudden from out of nowhere Naruto saw a leg come out of thin air and strike Kimimaro right in the chest, sending him flying backwards a couple of feet. When Naruto looked up, he saw Lee standing in front of him. Lee, what are you doing here? Asked Naruto, surprised. What does it look like, Naruto? I am here to help. Now go after Sasuke while I take care of this jerk, replied Lee. Are you sure about that, Lee? As you might still be weak from your fight from Gaara in the Chunin exams, said Naruto, worried. I am fine, Naruto. Now stop worrying about me and go after Sasuke before he gets away, said Lee. He is right, Naruto, if we don't hurry Sasuke will be with Orochimaru before we can go after him, said Tayuya. You're right, you too. We don't have time to waste. Naruto as he morphed into the Lunar Wolf Ranger. Once that was done, Naruto then took out the wolf animal crystal and threw it to the ground, and there was a bright flash of light, and when it faded, standing in front of Naruto was his savage cycle. Naruto then hop on the cycle and look at Tayuya. You think you are ready to go after Sasuke with me, Tayuya? Asked Naruto. Yes, but are you sure that thing of yours is safe? Replied Tayuya, concerned. Of course it is. Besides, this is the fastest way to catch up to Sasuke, said Naruto. With that said, Tayuya hopped on the savage cycle and held on tight to Naruto as they took off after Sasuke. After 15 minutes they caught up to Sasuke and saw him go into a dark cave, which they enter as well, and finally came out to a clearing with a waterfall with two statues, one on each side of the waterfall, and Naruto saw Sasuke leap up to the top of one statue. Tayuya, I want you to stay here while I go after Sasuke, is that understood? Said Naruto. Understood, Naruto. But be careful, as Sasuke might not be the same person you remembered, replied Tayuya. I will be careful, Tayuya, said Naruto. With that, Naruto left Tayuya on his savage cycle and went after Sasuke by leaping on top of the other statue's head and look at Sasuke, who looked at him, and Naruto saw the curse mark was starting to take over. Hey Sasuke, how about you stop running and come back to the village with me so we can get some ramen together, said Naruto. Go back to that village of losers with you, Dobi. Everyone there will just hold me back from getting the power I need to kill my brother, said Sasuke in a cold voice. That's the curse mark talking, Sasuke. You don't really mean that, said Naruto, getting nervous. I do mean it, Dobi, and you know what makes me really angry is the fact you got so much power that should belong to me. But I plan on changing that by killing you here and now, since you were like a brother to me, and by killing you then I will get the power I need to kill my brother, replied Sasuke in an angry tone. So that is the way you want to do this, Sasuke? If I have to break every bone in your body to bring you back to the village, then so be it, said Naruto, taking out the lunar Q in saber mode and pointed it at Sasuke. Well, it looks like you have some fighting spirit, Naruto. But that will not help you defeat me, said Sasuke. We will see about that, Sasuke, replied Naruto. Then go ahead and prove it, Dobi, said Sasuke. With that said, they both charge at each other. Naruto slash at Sasuke with the lunar Q, with Sasuke avoided by jumping out of the way and kicked Naruto in the back with one of his legs, sending Naruto flying towards the cliff wall, only for Naruto to send both his legs on the cliff wall and leap right off towards Sasuke, and converted the lunar Q into sniper mode and fired a few laser blasts at Sasuke and sent him to the bottom of the waterfall and landing on the water below. Naruto then landed on the water in front of Sasuke and pointed the lunar Q at him. "Give it up, Sasuke, just come back to the village with me and we can have Ka-san look at that curse mark of yours so she can try to get rid of it for good," said Naruto. "Never, Naruto, as I have only begun to unlock the true power of this curse mark. Let me show you its true power," replied Sasuke. With that, Sasuke was covered by black chakra and his skin turned gray and his eyes turned yellow and he sprouted a pair of black wings. Once the transformation was complete, Sasuke looked at Naruto and smiled. "Now let's see how well you fare against my curse mark at its second stage," said Sasuke. With that, Sasuke charged right at Naruto, who barely managed to avoid his attack in the nick of time. Naruto then tried to fire a few more laser blast from the lunar Q only for Sasuke to avoid each and every one of them. Sasuke then powered up a Chidori and hit Naruto right in the chest with it, sending Naruto flying backwards a couple of feet, hitting the water hard but not going under the surface. Naruto then looked at Sasuke. "Man, this isn't good. Thanks to his new form, Sasuke is too powerful for even me. I have only one chance to defeat him now. I just hope it works before it is too late for me," thought Naruto, worried. "What's the matter, do be ready to give up and face your fate?" asked Sasuke, laughing. "Not on your life, Sasuke. As I promised Sakura I would bring you back, and I never break a promise to someone I love, and it is you who will be defeated," replied Naruto in an angry voice. "How do you plan on doing that?" asked Sasuke, curious. "Simple, by drawing on the full power of Zen-Aku that I have within me to beat you and bring you back to the village," replied Naruto. With that, Naruto started to draw on the power of Zen-Aku and was covered in an unearthly blue glow that surrounded his body, and Sasuke saw in his right glove hand was a newly formed Rasengan. "So that is what you plan on doing, Naruto, using all your power and your ultimate attack to beat me? Well, I don't think so, as I will use my own attack against you," said Sasuke as he powered up a Chidwa. Sasuke then looked at Naruto and said, "Now let's see which one of our attacks is stronger." "Yes, let's see which one is stronger, your Chidori or my Rasengan," said Naruto. With that, both of them charged at each other with their attacks. When they contacted, there was a huge explosion of chakra and a cloud of smoke. When it finally cleared, Naruto was laying on the surface of the water, demorph and weak, with Sasuke standing over him, weak as well but still standing, and he was looking down at Naruto. "Looks like you lost this fight, Naruto. But you put up a good fight, for that I will kill you quickly," said Sasuke, powering up another Chidori ready to kill Naruto once and for all. Before Sasuke could deliver the final blow, a streak of yellow came out of nowhere and sent Sasuke flying into the cliff, and when Naruto looked up, standing in front of him was the Yellow Galaxy Ranger in her power-up mode with her Quasar Saber pointing at Sasuke. "Looks like I arrived just in the nick of time," said the Yellow Ranger. "Who the hell are you?" demanded Sasuke, getting to his feet. "The name's Maya Baladin, Naruto's twin sister," replied Maya. "You got to be kidding me. There's no way you can be related to that Dobi," said Sasuke. "Yes, I am, and if you know what is good for you, you leave now. Well, you still can before something happens to you," said Maya. With that, Maya's Quasar Saber glowed yellow and Maya fired a laser blast from it that hit near Sasuke's feet to get her point across. "Fine, have it your way. I will leave for now. But I will be back and kill Naruto in order to get the power that I need to kill my brother, and that is I promise I attain to keep," said Sasuke. With that, Sasuke left the area. Once he was gone, Maya demorphed and looked down at Naruto. "Looks like you can't stop getting into trouble when I am not around, right bro?" said Maya. "What are you doing here, Maya, when I thought you were killed by Master Orc 3000 years ago?" asked Naruto in a weak voice. "I will explain everything later. But right now you need medical attention badly," replied Maya. At that moment, Naruto and Maya look up to see Tayuya running over to them with a concerned look on her face. "Naruto, are you all right, and who are you, miss?" asked Tayuya. "My name is Maya, and Naruto isn't all right. He needs medical right away. So if you don't mind, do you think you can help me carry him back to the village so we can get him to the hospital before it is too late, and I will explain everything later once he feels better," replied Maya. "Alright, if Naruto is injured, then I will help you carry him back to the village," said Tayuya. With that, Maya and Tayuya picked Naruto up, who was now out cold, and started to head back to the village as fast as they could, carrying Naruto with one arm over their shoulders. Once they got to the village and the guards saw Naruto, they quickly helped Maya and Tayuya bring him to the hospital where Lady Tsunade was with the rest of the members of the team sent to bring Sasuke back. Once they got there, Naruto was quickly taken away by Lady Tsunade and the nurses to the emergency room to give he needed. After 2 hours it turned out Naruto didn't have any life-threatening injuries thanks to Lady Tsunade, and he was now resting in bed asleep. Meanwhile, Sakura and the others had come to the hospital after hearing what happened to Naruto and the others, as they were worried and made their way to the room Naruto was resting in, and when they got there they saw Tsunade and Kushina in the room next to Naruto, whose arms were bandaged and who was now up and alert. "Naruto, are you alright?" asked Sakura, concerned. "Yeah, I am. But I am sorry to say I failed to keep my promise to you to bring Sasuke back. But I still intend to keep it no matter what," replied Naruto sadly. "I don't care about that, Naruto. Me and the others were just worried sick about you when we heard you had been injured like the others," said Sakura. "Yeah, you had every one of us worried sick. So who brought you back top the village?" asked Rose. "That would be us who brought Naruto back to the village," replied Tayuya voice. Everyone turned to see Tayuya and Maya, who was dressed in a yellow shirt and blue jeans, walk into the room. "Who are you two?" asked Princess Yuki, curious. "My name happens to be Maya Balaton, Naruto's twin sister, and this here is Tayuya, who Naruto managed to convince to help him try to get Sasuke back," replied Maya. "You mean to tell us you happen to be Naruto's twin sister? But how?" asked Runo, confused. "Because she happened to be my twin sister when I was Merrick, and I would like to know how she got here and how she survived when I thought Master Orc killed her 3,000 years ago," replied Naruto. "Yeah, I would like to know that as well," said Kosmos. "If you must know how I've been alive all this time. When Master Orc captured me, he sent me through a time portal to the planet Miranori, where I was raised by the people of that planet and ended up being chosen as a Power Ranger when I pulled my Quasar saber out of the rock that it was in. And as how I got here, you can thank Zordon for that, as he thought you guys might need my help. So he sent me and the Galactabistes as well, not to mention he allowed me access to my Lights of Orion armor since he felt I might need it," replied Maya. "Well then it I a honor to finally met you, Maya. The name's Cole, Red Wild Force Ranger, and these people next to me are Max, Danny, Taylor, and Alyssa, the rest of the Wild Force Rangers," said Cole, smiling. "Yeah, it is great to meet you, as we could use all the help we can get," said Alyssa. "Well, the honor is all mine to meet you as well," said Maya, shaking Alyssa's hand. "Well, I hate to break up this little party, but what are we going to do about Sasuke now that he is with Orochimaru?" asked Karenai, worried. "There's nothing we can do right now. But by telling how long the fight lasted between Naruto and Sasuke, there wasn't enough time to get him to Orochimaru, as I have the feeling Lord Orochimaru was too weak to wait and had to transfer his soul into a new host, which gave us about 3 years to find a way to rescue Sasuke before Lord Orochimaru can use the body transfer jutsu again," replied Tayuya. "Yeah, so that gives me about 3 years to train to become strong enough to beat Sasuke and bring him back to the village," said Naruto. "I don't think that will work," said Kushina. "What do you mean by that, Mom?" asked Naruto, confused. "What she means, Naruto, is that we taught you everything we know about jutsu, and there isn't really anyone to train you to become stronger, even if you were to be trained by that pervert that I call a teammate Jiraiya, as we taught you everything you know," replied Tsunade sadly. "So you mean to tell us there is no way for Naruto to become stronger?" asked Akiza. "I wouldn't say that, my dear Akiza," said a voice. As soon as that said, there was a bright flash of white light and forcing everyone in the room to cover their eyes, and when it faded, standing in the room was Zordon, standing in the middle of the room. "Who are you?" asked Tsunami, confused. "He happens to be Zordon of Elter, the person who sent us all here," said Danny. "Yes, and I have come to offer Naruto a chance to train to become strong enough to defeat Sasuke and bring him back to the village," said Zordon. "How is that, Zordon?" asked Naruto, confused. "By sending you back to our world to train for the next 3 years, that in the end will give you the power to take on Sasuke and defeat him once and for all, even with the power he now possesses, and keep your promise to the people you love to return him to the village," replied Zordon. "You mean to tell us you want Naruto to be sent back to the world he used to belong to train for the next 3 years just so he can become strong enough to beat Sasuke?" asked Okami, shocked. "Yes, that is what mean, Okami," replied Zordon. "Then there is no way we are going to let you send him back for the next 3 years while we stay here and worry about his well-being," shouted Kyuubi. I hate to disagree with you, Kyuubi. But if this is the only chance I have to become strong enough to get Sasuke back, then I am willing to take it, said Naruto. Are you sure that is what you want to do, Naruto? There might be another way for you to become stronger without leaving us for 3 years. Asked Rin. Yes, I do, Rin. Besides, what other choice have we got? Ka-san and Mom told me there was no amount of training that would make me stronger. So I will return to the world where I was Merrick if it means I get the power I need to rescue Sasuke from Orochimaru's grasp, replied Naruto. If that is what you want, Naruto, then we are all behind you all the way. Besides, you will only be gone for the next 3 years, so you will still come back, said Kagura. Thanks for saying that, Kagura, it means a lot to me. So when will I be leaving on my journey, Zordon? Asked Naruto, looking at Zordon. You will be leaving 2 weeks from now, as you need time to heal and do everything you need to do in order to get prepared for your journey. Once you got everything in order, I will open a portal back to our world about a mile into the forest, as we don't want the villagers to think something is going on that could harm this village. Until then, get some rest and heal your wounds for the long journey ahead of you, replied Zordon. With that, Zordon disappeared into a bright flash of light, leaving Naruto alone with the people he cared about to rest and get ready for his journey ahead of him. 2 weeks later, Naruto was now fully healed and standing outside the gates to the village with his precious people, including his now new girlfriend Tayuya standing in front of him to see him off. Are you sure you got everything you need for your journey, Naruto? Asked Anko. Yes, I do, Aunt Anko, as I told you for the 10th time already, replied Naruto. She is just making sure you are all set, Naruto, as she and the rest of us are worried about saying goodbye to you for the next 3 years, said Tsunade. I know that, Ka-san, said Naruto. Good to hear, Naruto. Now are you sure you are going to be alright by yourself for the next 3 years? Asked Kushina. Yes, I am sure, Mom. Besides, I did survive over 3,000 years stuck as Zen-Aku. I will be just fine by myself, replied Naruto. Good, because if anything were to happen to you, your parents would take their anger out on me, said Kakashi. I know they would do that, Kakashi-sensei. Now I better get going, as I don't want to make Zordon wait for me, said Naruto. Well, before you go, Naruto, I have something to give you, said Tayuya. What would that be, Tayuya? Asked Naruto. Before Naruto knew what happened, Tayuya grabbed Naruto's shirt and planted a kiss right on his lips. Once she pulled herself away, the others saw Naruto had a huge blush on his face from Tayuya kissing him. You better hurry on back as fast as you can, Naruto, before I come after you, said Tayuya. Yeah, you better, because I will go after you as well if you make us wait more than 3 years for your return, said Kin. You have my word, you two, that I will come back in 3 years stronger than ever before. Now I better be on my way before I miss the portal that Zordon made for me, said Naruto. With that, Naruto said his final goodbyes to everyone and headed out into TH portal was waiting for him. After walking for half an hour, Naruto could see the portal leading back to the Ranger world a couple of yards ahead of him and started to pick up his pace when of a sudden he felt a breeze of wind blow in his face, making him stop in his tracks, and he felt someone was behind him. Where do you think you are going? Asked a familiar voice. I am going back to the world where I used to belong to, so I can get strong enough to rescue my friend Sasuke from Orochimaru. Why do you ask, Zen-Aku? Replied Naruto as he turned around and saw Zen-Aku looking at him leaning against a tree trunk. Because I felt you might need some company on your journey, old friend. Besides, you're not the only lone wolf that is looking for redemption for what he did in the past, replied Zen-Aku. You know, if you cared to join me, then you are more than welcome. Just don't expect me to stop for anything along the way, understood? Said Naruto. I understand. Now lead the way, old friend, said Zen-Aku, waving his hand. With that, Naruto started to head towards the portal once again, with Zen-Aku following him. Once both of them went through the portal, it closed behind them. Meanwhile, far away inside a cave, the members of the criminal group called the Akatsuki were planning their next move. So now that we know that the Kyuubi is free, Pain, what is keeping us from going after it? Asked Zetsu, curious. Simple, it is because we can't attack the Hidden Leaf Village yet until we get stronger, replied Pain. Pain is right, Zetsu, the Hidden Leaf Village is too strong for us to launch a direct attack yet, said Itachi. Speak for yourself, Itachi. Orochimaru has your brother now, said Kisame. Yeah, what do you plan on doing about it? Asked Sasori. I plan on doing nothing, as Sasuke chose to go to Orochimaru himself, replied Itachi. That is good and all, but I agree with Zetsu, we would have a good chance of capturing the Kyuubi now since the Leaf Village is still rebuilding themselves after Orochimaru's attack, said Hideon. That is not a good idea as Pain pointed out to us, replied Conan. If that is the case, then when would be a good time to attack them? Asked Derek curious. 3 years from now would be a good time to attack the village, replied Pain. Why 3 years? Demanded Kazuku. Because that would give us the time to plan and prepare everything we need in order to attack the Hidden Leaf Village head-on. Do you have a problem with our leader's plan? Said Conan. No, we have nothing against it, Conan, said Hideon. Good, now if that is all, this meeting is finished for now, said Pain. With that the members of the Akatsuki left the room. After they left the meeting room, Pain and Conan came to a secret door and went inside a dimly lit room. So how did everything go? Asked an evil voice. Everything went as you planned, masters, said Pain, bowing down, as did Conan. With that 5 figures emerged from the dark area of the room that were covered head to toe in black armor, each trim a different color: red, black, blue, yellow, and pink. That is very good to hear, Pain. Do the others suspect anything? Said the red one. No, the other members don't expect anything else but what we told them, Lord Psycho Red, replied Conan. Good, because until our plan is put into place then we can't let the others know what we plan on doing, said Psycho Black. Yes, it would be bad for our plans to use the power of the tail beast to take over not only the Earth but the galaxy as well, said Psycho Blue. Yes, it would be a shame if the others found out, my lords, said Pain. Well, thanks to you two we don't have to worry about that. You both have proven to us to be loyal servants ever since we came to this earth and killed Madara Uchiha in order to take over the Akatsuki, and for that when we take over this galaxy using the power of the 9-tailed beast, then you two will be allowed to rule the earth as a reward for your loyal serve to us, said Psycho Red. Thank you, Lord Psycho Red, said Conan. You're welcome. Now I think you two should return to your quarters until the next time we needed you, said Psycho Red. With that, Pain and Conan left the room, leaving the 5 Psycho Rangers alone. I hate to break up the good news, Psycho Red, but what are we going to do about this new team of Rangers that are protecting the village? Asked Psycho Pink. Yes, they could cause a problem for our plans of taking over this universe if they find out about us, added Psycho Yellow. For now we don't do nothing but watch this new team of Rangers so we can learn all we can about them, so we can use whatever weaknesses they have against them. Besides, they don't know about us being alive, even Zordon himself doesn't know we survive, replied Psycho Red. You're right, Psycho Red, no one but Pain and Conan knows about us, which gives us the element of surprise, said Psycho Black. Yes, and when we attack the Hidden Leaf Village they will be unable to stop us no matter what, said Psycho Blue, laughing. Yes, you are both correct, my fellow Psycho Rangers. And once we destroy them and the Leaf Village, we can capture the Kyuubi and use its power along with the other tail beast we have already captured to take over this weak planet and the galaxy, and there's nothing anyone can do to stop us. Very soon this world will feel the wrath of the Psycho Rangers, said Psycho Red, laughing. With that the Psycho Rangers went to put their plan together so they be ready to attack the Hidden Leaf Village in 3 years. 3 years later, inside the forest a mile outside the Hidden Leaf Village, a blue portal suddenly appeared out of thin air and 6 people step out of it as it suddenly closed and disappeared. The first 3 people were 3 teenage girls. 2 of them were about 15 years of age, with the first one having dark skin with long dark pink hair and gold cat-like eyes with cat ears and a tail, while the other girl had long black hair with yellow eyes slitted like a snake with face that looked like Sasuke's mother's, only younger. The third girl was about 18 years old with long pink hair and blue eyes. The other 3 people were all guys. The first 2 were in their late 20s, with the first one having long brown hair with streaks of blonde pulled into a ponytail with brown eyes, dress in a red shirt, gray jacket and gray pants. The other man had short dark brown hair spike up with brown eyes with a patch of hair under his chin, dress in a black shirt with a blue long sleeve shirt over it and blue jeans. The third guy was about 15 years old with blonde hair and eyes that were a golden orange color that looked like a cross between a wolf and tiger's eyes, with whisker marks on his face, and he was dressed in a silver ninja uniform with a gold medallion with a picture of the wolf on it. So this is the world you told us all about, Naruto-kun, said the girl with the cat ears. Yes, it is pink. It's been about 3 years now in this world since I left to train to become stronger, replied Naruto. Well, I am curious to see what this village you told us about is like, Naruto-kun, said the girl with the snake-like eyes. You will have to just wait until we get there to find out, Makoto, as will Kurumi, said Naruto. I guess you're right, Naruto-kun. We can't wait to meet your other girlfriends you told us about as well, said Kurumi. Well, you three shouldn't worry about them. I am sure you three will get along with all of them once you get to know each other. I am just concerned about Zordon told us about the Psycho Rangers being alive in this world and what they plan on doing with the power of the tailed beast, which is why Tommy and Andros decide to come with us, said Naruto, worried. You shouldn't worry too much right now, Naruto, as we just got here, and besides, with me and Andor's here to help you and the other rangers out against the Akatsuki and Psycho Rangers, we will save this earth no problem. Besides, I remember when you took on Megazord by yourself once and beat him thanks to power of the white Dino gem that bonded with you, not to mention every other ranger team you help out since up to this point, said Tommy. Tommy's right, Naruto, thanks to the training you went through of years, there's nothing that can stand up to you, not even Sasuke now can't beat you by himself thanks to the power you gain and thanks to me. We got the blueprints to the Psycho Rangers which will allow us to use any weaknesses we find against them, said Andros, smiling. You two are right with us and the other rangers, we can beat the Psycho Rangers once and for all, as well as the Akatsuki, and I can keep my promise to bring back Sasuke from Orochimaru. We better start heading towards the village before it gets dark, as I want to see my parents and the others as I haven't seen them for years. I just hope they got along fine without me, said Naruto. With that, the six of them started to head towards the village. Meanwhile, outside the village gates, Sakura, Runo, and Hinata, who were now Chunin, were sitting outside the village gates looking like they were waiting for Naruto as they did for the last month, since it now had been 3 years since he left on his training trip, as they could hardly wait to see what he looked like now after 3 years. So do you two think Naruto will show up today? Asked Hinata, curious. I don't know, Hinata. But I hope he does, as we and everyone else have been waiting for him for the last 3 years to come back to the village like he promised us, replied Runo sadly. Well, I have the strangest feeling that today will be the day Naruto will finally come home, said Sakura. As soon as Sakura said that, they saw some people coming towards the village and noticed that the guy in the silver ninjutsu uniform was Naruto, only he was taller and more handsome than the last time they saw him, and felt he was somehow different as well. Meanwhile, Naruto and the others were walking towards the village as the gates came into view, when all of a sudden Naruto heard his name being called and suddenly felt himself being tackled by 3 people and sent to the ground. When Naruto looked up, he saw that Sakura, Runo, and Hinata were on top of his, hugging him. Sakura, Runo, Hinata, what are you 3 doing here? Asked Naruto, confused. What does it look like, Naruto? We've been waiting for you to return for the past month, and when we saw you coming towards the village we kinda of got excited and ended up sending you to the ground, replied Sakura. Yeah, we are just glad you finally came back after all these years, Naruto, said Hinata. Naruto-kun, are you alright? Asked Pink as she came running over to Naruto, as did Kurumi and Makoto. Yeah, I am just fine, Pink, said Naruto as he got back to his feet. Who are you 3 and why are you calling our boyfriend Naruto-kun? Demanded Runo. Because he is our boyfriend as well, replied Kurumi. Let me guess, you 3 must be Sakura, Runo, and Hinata that Naruto-kun told us about? Asked Makoto, curious. Yes, we are, and who would you 3 be? Said Runo. My name is Pink, said Pink. The name's Kurumi, said Kurumi. And my name happens to be Makoto, and believe it or not, Naruto here saved all of us and we ended up falling in love with him, and he told us all about you and the others, said Makoto. Well, that would be our Naruto-kun, always saving girls in trouble. I guess since it appears you 3 seem to be nice girls and Naruto loves you as much as he does us, then we can let it slide that we have to share him with you, as we love him as well, said Sakura. Well, I would like to know who these 2 guys are that are with the 4 of you, asked Runo, looking at Andros and Tommy. Well, if you must know, my name's is Andros Red Space Ranger, said Andros. And my name happens to be Tommy Oliver Black Dino Thunder Ranger. We came with Naruto to help him and the other rangers against this great evil that Zordon told us about, said Tommy. Well, it is an honor to meet you too, Hinata, shaking Tommy's hand. Ah, Sakura, do you happen to know what my mom and Ka-san are? Asked Naruto, looking at Sakura. Yeah, they're up on the animarium with the others, replied Sakura. That's good to hear, as I have to see them and the others and tell them something important, said Naruto. What do you mean you have something important to tell them, Naruto? And how come your eyes are no longer blue but are golden orange and look like a cross between a wolf and tiger's eyes? Asked Hinata confused. I will explain once we get to the animarium as time is of the essence for what I have to tell them, replied Naruto. With that they headed to the animarium. Meanwhile on the animarium the others were sitting down in the field of the animarium eating the lunch that Alyssa and Maya had made for everyone and were wondering how Naruto was doing with his training. So do you guys think Naruto will be strong enough to beat Sasuke when he comes back from his training? Asked Rin. I don't know Rin. But knowing Naruto whatever training he has been doing it will probably make him stronger like Zordon said it would, replied Rose. Well I just hope Naruto comes back soon as it has been 3 years already since he left, said Kurenai. Yeah me too. I am starting to wonder if we will ever see our precious Naruto again as well, said Tsunami. Well he better come home soon or me and Kin will find some way to go to him and drag him back here ourselves, said Tayuya. You got that right Tayuya. So Naruto better come back soon before we drag him back here ourselves, added Kin. Well I wouldn't worry about Naruto too much as I am sure whatever training he is doing is worth it if it means bringing back Sasuke, said Kyuubi. You got that right Kyuubi. As we know Naruto is training very hard to get the power he needs to defeat Sasuke and Orochimaru, said Okami. Well I know when Naruto comes back and faces Orochimaru he will beat him without lifting a finger, said Akiza. You got that right Akiza as Naruto will be way stronger than Orochimaru is, said Ino smiling. Well I just hope Sakura, Rooney, and Hinata come up here to the animarium so they can enjoy some lunch with us, said Princess Yuki. Well knowing them they are probably still at the gates to the village waiting for Naruto to return, said Anko. Yeah you're right on that one sis. I just hope my little boy shows up soon to make every one of us happy, said Kushina. Well all we can do right now Kushina is wait for him to show up. Besides I know my own brother when he makes a promise he always keeps it, said Maya. As soon as Maya said that they look up to see Naruto and the others coming over to them and when they saw him dress in his ninja tea uniform they felt he was somehow different than when he left them 3 years ago. Tsunade who was sitting next to Kushina could not sit still anymore and got up and ran over to Naruto and gave him a big hug holding him tight. Naruto you finally came back, said Tsunade hugging Naruto. Of course I did Ka-san. Now if you don't mind can you think you can stop hugging me as it is starting to get hard for me to breathe, said Naruto in a weak voice. With that Tsunade released Naruto only for Kushina to come over and hug Naruto as well. Naruto am I glad to see you again my little boy. But what happened to your eyes? Asked Kushina looking at Naruto's eyes. I can explain that mom but it is a long story, said Naruto. Well we have all the time in the world Naruto. We are just glad to have you back, said Alyssa. Yeah every one of us were worried about how you were doing with your training and who are you friends here? Asked Taylor looking at Andros, Tommy, Pink, Kermi, and Makoto. If you must know these 3 girls are my new girlfriends Kermi, Pink, and Makoto who I ended up saving when I was training and ended up falling in love with them, replied Naruto. Well it is an honor to meet you 3 as I can image my son can't help but end up falling in love with nice and beautiful girls, said Kushina. The honor's all ours, said Pink, so how did our son ended up rescuing you 3? Asked Tsunade curious. I will explain that for you Ka-san after I tell you everything that happened over the past 3 years since I left, said Naruto interrupting her. Well I guess we can wait until you tell us everything that happened to you. But who are these 2 guys with you? Asked Anko looking at Tommy and Andros. They're Tommy, said Cole. How do you know them Cole? Asked Max. Because Cole helps us with our mission to destroy the remains of the Machine Empire, said Andros. Yeah and it's nice seeing you again after all these years Cole, said Tommy shaking Cole's hand. Well care to tell us what they are doing here Naruto? Asked Max curious. They came with me because we are going to need their help against the great evil that Zordon told us that was coming to this world, replied Naruto. Well before we discuss about this great evil Naruto, can you think you can tell us everything that happened to you over the past 3 years from the beginning and why your eyes are no longer blue? Said Danny. Well of course. I guess I should start with the fact that back in the world we came from I didn't spend 3 years training but really 6 years in our world while only 3 years went by here in this world, said Naruto. Wait you mean you trained for 6 years straight? So how come you only look like you aged 3 years? Asked Alyssa confused. Because Zordon made me stop aging after 3 years until I came back here. Now as I was saying, the training that Zordon gave me to become stronger was for Zen-Aku to train me himself and help out any future ranger teams that came along and needed my help, said Naruto. You mean to tell us Zen-Aku is still alive? Asked Cole shock. Well, he was thanks to Zordon realizing that Zen-Aku was looking for redemption for what he did in the past and agreed to train me until 2 years ago when Zen-Aku told me that the only way to get the power I needed to get Sasuke back was for us to merge together as one once again. But instead of me becoming a part of him, he became a part of me and gave me all of his power. And of course over the 6 years I was in our world I met many ranger teams and ended up adding some new ranger powers and adding them my own and gained 2 new modes to my ranger form, replied Naruto. What do you mean you got 2 new modes to your ranger form? Asked Sakura curious. One of the form I got I called Jungle Fury mode where I use the morpher that the Jungle Fury Wolf Ranger RJ gave me to become the Jungle Fury Wolf Ranger, which allows me to move a lot faster than when I am the Lunar Wolf Ranger, and the other form I call Wolf Warrior mode where I use the Mystic Force Wolf Warrior Leanbow Morpher to become the Mystic Force Wolf Warrior as my armor mode, not to mention the other ranger powers I ended up merging with my power, giving me access to Zords that I am able to combine with the Predazord to make it more powerful than before, replied Naruto. I guess that explains that. But that still hasn't explained why your eyes just don't look just like a wolf but also like a tiger's as well, said Rin. Well, you see Rin, when I helped the Jungle Fury team we came across being known as Liger, who was one of the Phantom Beast generals and ended up failing one of Daishi's orders and was stripped of his risen power. He tired to beat Casey, who defeated him, and Liger almost died only for Casey to save him, and Liger told Casey to finish him off as he was disgraced. Casey refused, saying that being a Power Ranger was to help people and animals as well that needed. So when Daishi had one of his monsters capture the other Rangers, Liger helped me and Casey by leading us to where they were being held and help us save them, only to start fading away as without his risen power he could survive. So before Liger faded away I asked him to merge with me and become part of me, which he accepted, and when he did I ended up having what was left of his risen power as well, with my eyes changing color and looking like a cross between a wolf and a tiger, said Naruto. That's some story, Naruto, said Akiza. Yes it is, but it isn't the end, because you see when Daishi was defeated by me and the other rangers I ended up absorbing the rest of his powers, making me powerful than even Master Orc and Daishi combined, said Naruto. So where do Kirmi, Pink, and Makoto come into this? Asked Kin curious. Well, you see I happened to an android that was built by evil ninja no loather to use fight against Naruto and the other rangers until Naruto freed me, and by using a special potion that the green Samurai Ranger Cam made I became human, said Kirmi. So how did you meet Naruto, Pink? Asked Ino. Well, you see I come from a planet where I happened to be a princess until an evil person calling himself the Master came and destroyed my planet and everyone I cared about, until Naruto and the Mystic Force Rangers came and freed me from his grasp, and when I got to know Naruto well we ended up falling in love with each other until we got to the point we are now, replied Pink. So what is your story, Makoto? You remind me of Orochimaru with those eyes of yours. Expect you're not evil, and have you the late Makoto Uchiha's face? Asked Anko. Well, you see, believe it or not, I happen to be a female clone of this Orochimaru you talk about, replied Makoto sadly. How is that possible? Asked Tayuya shocked. Because you see there was this evil creature called Megazord who wanted to turn back the clock on Earth to the time of the dinosaurs and wanted to destroy the Power Rangers in his way, including Naruto. So using his computers he found out where Naruto came from and found out all about Orochimaru by looking into Naruto's nightmares. So using an interdimensional device he sent a small drone to collect Orochimaru's DNA to make a clone. But he found out about the Uchiha clan and the power of the Sharingan and figured it would make the clone more powerful. But since he couldn't get a DNA sample of Sasuke or Itachi, so Megazord ended up sending some of his Tyrannodrones to this world and dig up the remains of Makoto Uchiha and take a sample of her DNA to combine Orochimaru's DNA to create me, replied Makoto. That would explain the reason why the Anbu found Makoto Uchiha's grave dug up, because this Megazord person wanted a sample of her DNA, said Kosmos. Yes, but unfortunately for Mesogogue I wasn't evil like the real Orochimaru, but he forced me against my will to fight Naruto and the Dino Thunder Rangers, or he would kill me in cold blood since he was the one who created me. But thankfully Naruto and the Dino Thunder Rangers ended up defeating Mesogogue and free me in the process, and once me and Naruto got to know each other we kinda fell in love, and it's been that way ever since, said Makoto. So if you have Makoto DNA in you, does that mean you have the Sharingan as well? Asked Ino curious. Yes, she does, Ino. But that's not the real reason we came up here to see you all, replied Naruto. So what is it you have to tell us, Naruto? Asked Cole. We came here to tell you all what this great evil we have to fight is, replied Naruto. What kinda of great evil is this we are supposed to be fighting? Asked Taylor. Well, according to what Zordon told us, this great evil we are supposed to fight and defeat are known as the Psycho Rangers, and they are secretly controlling the Akatsuki, with most of the members knowing about them except for 2 of them, said Tommy. Hold on for a second, who are these Psycho Rangers and what do they plan on doing with the Akatsuki? Asked Tsunade confused. They happen to be a set of evil rangers built to defeat us, the Power Rangers, and they were defeated twice. Once by my team and a second time by my team joining up with Maya and the Lost Galaxy Rangers. But unfortunately they somehow managed to survive and come here to this world and killed the leader of the Akatsuki, Madara Uchiha, and took the Akatsuki over, leading them from the shadows. And their plan is to gather up all of the tailed beast and use their powers to not only take over the earth but the universe as well, replied Andros. Well, we can't let them get their hands on any of the tail beast, especially Kyuubi here, said Kushina. We know that, which is why I managed to get a hold of the Psycho Rangers' blueprints that we could look over and find out their weak spots so we can use them against them in battle and destroy them once and for all before they have a chance to carry out their plans, said Andros. Well, that sounds like a plan. But nothing that I need to tell my son here, as it is about Sasuke, said Tsunade. What is that you have to say to me about Sasuke? Have you found out where he's been hiding all this time? Asked Naruto curious. Yes, Naruto, we know where Sasuke is thanks to Kakashi and the Anbu Black Ops going after every lead we got. We finally found out where Orochimaru's hideout is. It is somewhere in the land of rice, and I was planning on sending a team with you and Sakura in it to go there and rescue Sasuke from Orochimaru once and for all, replied Tsunade. Well then, in that case, when can me and Sakura go to Orochimaru's hideout and bring Sasuke back to the village? Asked Naruto. Well, since you just got back and need to rest, as will the rest of people I will be sending with you and Sakura. It will have to be in 2 days since it will take that long to get everything together for the mission. But according to Kakashi's report, we still have time before Orochimaru needs to transfer his soul into Sasuke's body. So until then I think we should all just relax and plan what to do when you and Sakura go after him, replied Tsunade. While if I have to wait 2 days to go after Sasuke, then that's fine with me. Besides, that can give you time to go over the Psycho Rangers' blueprints with Andros to find out any of their weaknesses we could use against them, said Naruto. That sounds like a good plan, Naruto. But right now we think we should all relax and have something to eat, and you can tell us all that happened to you during the past 3 years, said Tsunade. With that they sat down and went back to eating their lunch as Naruto started to tell them more about what his training was like. Meanwhile, in the land of rice inside Orochimaru's hideout, Sasuke was inside his room meditating when he suddenly felt a huge surge of chakra coming from somewhere far away, and it felt very familiar to him. Where is this huge power I am feeling coming from? It feels like Naruto's chakra, but more powerful than my own and unlike anything I ever felt before. Could it be that Dobi somehow managed to get a lot stronger over 3 years' time? Well, if that is the case, then I am for one looking forward to facing him by myself so I can see how powerful he has truly gotten, thought Sasuke smiling. At that moment there was at Sasuke's door and Kabuto came into the room. Sasuke, Lord Orochimaru wishes to see you right away, said Kabuto. What does that snake want with me now? Demanded Sasuke. If I were you, Sasuke, I would mind my manners when talking about Lord Orochimaru like that, and to answer your question, the reason he wants to see you is to teach you a new powerful jutsu, replied Kabuto. Well then, in that case, go tell Orochimaru I will be there real soon once I am done meditating, said Sasuke, getting annoyed. Of course, Sasuke. I will let him know you be by to see him shortly, said Kabuto. With that, Kabuto left the room. Once Kabuto had left, Sasuke went back to meditating. I hope I got to face you again very soon, Naruto, as I want to see how powerful you have gotten in 3 years, as it will make me defeating you more enjoyable than our last battle, thought Sasuke, smiling. 2 days later, inside of Naruto house, alarm clock was going off inside of Naruto's bedroom, waking Naruto up from his sleep. Naruto quickly hit the button on the alarm clock, turning it off. Once that was done, Naruto let out a yawn and felt like someone was using his chest as a pillow. Naruto looked down and saw Mikoto resting her head on his chest, sleeping with her arms wrapped around his waist as well. Well, looks like Mikoto decided to use my chest as a pillow last night. I hate to wake her when she looks so peaceful in her sleep. But if I don't, then I will never get out of bed, thought Naruto. With that, Naruto shook Mikoto's shoulders and Mikoto opened her eyes and looked up at Naruto. Naruto-kun, what time is it? Asked Mikoto as she started to wake up. It's about 9 in the morning, Mikoto-chan. You slept in my room all last night. Now we have to get up so I can go to the Hokage's tower to meet Sakura and the rest of the team that will be going with us to rescue Sasuke from Orochimaru, replied Naruto, giving Mikoto a kiss on her head. While if you are going after Sasuke and Orochimaru, then take me along as well, said Mikoto. I am afraid I can't let you come along with me on this one, Mikoto, as Orochimaru is very dangerous and Sasuke might put up a good fight against me and the others, and I don't want to see you get hurt, as you and the others are very precious to me, said Naruto, concerned. You know for a fact, Naruto, that I can take care of myself. Besides, I am a clone of Orochimaru himself with all of his jutsu and the power of the Sharingan at my disposal, not to mention I ended up signing the snake summoning contract, which allows me to summon Lord Manda himself when I needed him. So don't worry about me on this mission, as I am more than capable of looking after myself in battle, and there's nothing you could do to stop me from going with you. So just deal with it, said Mikoto with fire in her eyes. Well, since I guess you are leaving me with no choice, Mikoto, you can come with me and the others to go after Sasuke. But you have to promise me, if things get out of hand, that you will take cover and stay out of the way of Orochimaru, as I don't want him to know about you, as he could harm you and I don't want that to happen, said Naruto. You have my word, Naruto-kun, that the moment things get out of control I will find somewhere safe to hide until everything is over with, said Mikoto, smiling, which made Naruto blush a bright red. At that moment there was a knock at Naruto's bedroom door and Tommy came into the room. Tommy, what are you doing here in my room for? Asked Naruto. Well, I came here to tell you that Lady Tsunade is waiting for us at the tower to give us the mission and meet the rest of the team that will be going with us to rescue Sasuke, since Tsunade felt that given my past history as a Power Ranger I could be a big help in getting your friend Sasuke back, and Andros will be joining us as well, replied Tommy. Well then just let me and Mikoto get dressed and we will go with you to the Hokage's tower to meet the others, said Naruto. With that, Tommy left the room, closing the door behind him. Once he was gone, Naruto and Mikoto got out of the bed and got dressed and went out the door to head to the tower with Tommy. Meanwhile, at the Hokage's tower, Tsunade waiting inside her office with Andros, Kakashi, Sakura, Shikamaru, and Kagura for Naruto and Tommy to show up. How come we have to wait for Naruto and Tommy to show up here, Lady Tsunade? Asked Shikamaru, getting annoyed. Because of the fact that they are needed on this mission so we can get Sasuke back from Orochimaru, said Sakura. Yeah, and knowing Naruto, he probably overslept and Tommy had to wake him up, said Kagura. Well, they probably should be any minute and we can get this mission started, said Kakashi, looking up from his book. As soon as Kakashi said that, the door to the office opened and Naruto, Tommy, and Mikoto came into the room, with Naruto wearing his old clothes again, including his Wild Force jacket complete with weapons. Sorry we late everyone. But I kinda of overslept and Tommy had to end up waking me and Mikoto up, said Naruto, rubbing the back of his head, smiling. It's okay, Naruto, since you needed the rest from yesterday, said Sakura. Speaking of which, why is Mikoto here with you too? Asked Kagura, curious. Because I want to come along on this mission to rescue Sasuke, since I happen to know everyone of Orochimaru's jutsu and happen to have the Sharingan as well. I might come in handy in case things get tough if we encounter Orochimaru, replied Mikoto. Well, you do make a good point there, Mikoto, since you are a clone of Orochimaru you might come in handy on this mission, so I will allow you to go along with them since they could every advantage they need since we are dealing with Orochimaru, said Tsunade. Well, speaking of which, Ka-san, what is the plan on us getting Sasuke back from Orochimaru? Asked Naruto, curious. Simple, you and the others occasion of Orochimaru's hideout and get Sasuke back no matter what, and take out Orochimaru as well, replied Tsunade. So how do we plan on getting there, since the land of rice is a couple of days travel from the land of fire, and by the time we get there Orochimaru might know we are coming and get out of his hideout and take Sasuke with him before we get the chance to get there? Asked Naruto, worried. Simple, we will take the Astro Megaship Mach 2 to get to the land of rice within 5 minutes and landed a few miles outside of Orochimaru's hideout before he figures out our plan, replied Andros. And once we landed, we will take the Triceramax Command Center from there, as it will give us protection from any of Orochimaru's ninja until we get to his hideout, and then we'll use the lasers to break into his hideout and rescue Sasuke and take out Orochimaru as quickly as possible and bring Sasuke back here, where Lady Tsunade will take care of his curse mark once and for all, said Tommy. That sounds like a good plan to me. So when do we leave to go after Sasuke? Asked Naruto. All of you will be leaving right away so you can catch Orochimaru off guard. So I suggest you all get what you need right now, as you need to be prepared for anything, replied Tsunade. You got it, Lady Tsunade, and we will bring Sasuke back here no matter what, said Sakura. With that they left the office to get what they needed for the mission, as it would be very tough knowing Orochimaru. 20 minutes later, outside the village gates, Naruto met the others and saw the Astro Megaship Mach 2 standing outside the gates to the village ready to launch, and saw Andros standing there with everyone else. Naruto, good to see you could make it on time, said Tommy. Well, I wouldn't miss this for the world, since today is the day we finally bring Sasuke home, said Naruto, smiling. Well, that good to hear from you, Naruto. Now I think we should all head aboard of the megaship and head to the land of rice so we can take down Orochimaru once and for all, said Andros. With that they all headed on board the megaship. Once inside and in the bridge of the ship, they took off and headed towards the land of rice. After flying for 5 minutes straight, the Astro Megaship landed in a clearing a few miles away from Orochimaru's hideout. With that they got out of the Astro Megaship and Tommy called for the Triceramax Command Center, and it appeared in a flash of red light, and everyone got inside and they headed straight towards Orochimaru's hideout. Alright everyone, listen very carefully. In a few minutes we will be reaching Orochimaru's lair, and we need to be prepared for anything we may encounter there. Once we get there I want all of us to stay together until we found where Sasuke is in there and take him back by force if we need to, and then we find Orochimaru and Kabuto and take them out as quickly as possible before we leave and blow up Orochimaru's lair once and for all. Does everyone understand that? Said Tommy. We got it, Tommy. We get Sasuke back and take out Orochimaru and Kabuto and get out of there as quickly as we can, said Naruto. Correct, Naruto. But just remember, Sasuke isn't the same person you and Sakura remember, so you need to be careful, said Andros. Of course, Andros. I will be very careful when I see Sasuke face to face, replied Naruto. That's good to hear, Naruto, as if you don't then me and Sakura will make sure to send you to the hospital when we get back, said Kagura. Yeah, because we both love you, and if anything were to happen to you then we could never forgive ourselves, said Sakura. You both have my promise I will be careful when I face Sasuke again. Makoto, are you sure you are going to be alright if you happen to meet Orochimaru face to face? Asked Naruto, looking at Makoto. Of course I will be alright, Naruto-kun. Because when I do meet him, I will make sure I will kill him for all the evil things he's done, as I don't care if I was cloned from him in the first place. Orochimaru isn't anything to me, replied Makoto, holding her fist up to get her point across. Alright everyone, we should be very quiet as we should be nearing Orochimaru's lair any minute now, said Tommy. With that everyone was quiet as the Triceramax Command Center came to Orochimaru's lair, where 2 sound ninja were standing guard over the entrance when they suddenly look up to see the Triceramax Command Center coming towards them at full speed when it fired its lasers at the 2 of them, hitting them in the chest and sending them flying backwards a couple of feet, as well as the entrance to the sound village, making a huge hole in it. Everyone quickly got out as Tommy and Andros morph and quickly tied up the 2 sound ninja. Tommy then looked at the others. Alright everyone, listen very carefully. These 2 ninja aren't the only ones Orochimaru has guarding this place. There will most likely be more when we enter his lair. So I want all of us to stick together and watch each other's backs, as we didn't know what lays ahead for us, said Tommy. With that said, they enter Orochimaru's lair together, keeping an eye out for any more sound ninja along the way. After traveling through the tunnels for 20 minutes and encountering very few ninja, which they quickly took care of, Naruto was starting to have a bad feeling that something wasn't right, as things were going too easy for them, and decided to tell the others what he felt. "Hey guys, I have bad feeling about this place," said Naruto. "What kind of bad feeling are you talking about?" asked Sakura. "Well, I don't know if it's me, but so far we have encountered very few sound ninja and haven't ran into any traps either. It just seems Orochimaru is making things far too easy for us to move around in, and maybe we're being led into a trap," replied Naruto. "I agree with you there, Naruto. This seems far too easy for me as well. Knowing what do we about Orochimaru, he should have made things harder for us if he knew we were after Sasuke," said Andros. "Yeah, I feel that too as well. But right now all we can do is continue on our way through this place and be on our guard at all times," said Tommy. With that, they continued on in silence when all of a sudden there was a huge explosion that came out from the way next to them, which they barely managed to avoid it, and they had the feeling they were being watched. Well, what do we have here but a bunch of trespassers," said a familiar voice. With that, everyone looked in the direction of the voice and saw Kabuto standing a few feet in front of them, smiling. "Kabuto, what are you doing here?" demanded Kagura. "Well, if you must know, Lord Orochimaru thought that you all were going to be coming here to his hideout when you found its location and tried to take Sasuke away from him. So set a trap for all of you, knowing it would be a matter of time before you all showed up. But since you managed to get past most of the traps, I am here to finish you all off," replied Kabuto, smiling. "That's not going to happen, Kabuto. Tell us where Sasuke is right now before you get hurt," said Naruto. "Why would I tell you where Sasuke is, Naruto, when you're just going to die right here? Besides, the only way I will tell you is if you defeat me and get past me," replied Kabuto. "Then that's just what me, Kagura, Sakura, and Shikamaru are going to do to you, Kabuto," said Andros. "Yeah, like you three have any chance against me," said Kabuto. "We shall see about that. Naruto, you go with Tommy, Makoto, and Kakashi while the four of us take care of this freak," said Andros. Looking at Naruto. "No way, Andros. We can't let you three handle Kabuto alone, as you may needed our help," said Naruto. "We have no choice, Naruto. If we all fight him, then that just gives Orochimaru time to get out of here with Sasuke," said Sakura. "Yeah, and if we miss Orochimaru, then we may never find him again," added Kagura. "They're right, Naruto. At least this way we can find out where Sasuke is while they keep Kabuto busy," said Makoto. "You're right, Makoto. Alright, we're going to leave Kabuto to you four, but just be careful and join us when you can," said Naruto. "You got it, Naruto. Now just go and leave Kabuto to us," said Ao, and the others left Andros, Sakura, and Kagura to deal with Kabuto alone while they continued on to search for Sasuke. After searching the complex for 15 minutes with no luck, Naruto and the others were about to search the next level when they suddenly saw Orochimaru blocking their way. "Well, looks like you four managed to slip past Kabuto," said Orochimaru, smiling. "Yeah, we did, you freak. Now tell us where Sasuke is right now before we beat the information out of you," demanded Naruto. "Or maybe you will be a nice person and just tell us where Sasuke is right now," said Kakashi. "I am afraid that I can't tell you where Sasuke is right now, as you three are trespassing in my lair," replied Orochimaru. "Then I guess we have to beat the information out of you then, you snake freak," said Makoto. "Well, aren't we a tid angry girl? But tell me this. Why is it that when I look into your eyes I can see myself in you?" asked Orochimaru, curious. "Because maybe it's because I happen to be your clone, Orochimaru. But that doesn't make me the same as you, as I am not evil and sick like you," replied Makoto, angry with her Sharingan activated. "So you're my clone and you also happen to have the Sharingan as well. I think when I kill you and the others here I will study your body to see how it works and apply it to my research," said Orochimaru with a creepy smile on his face. "That's not going to happen as long as we are here standing, because you are going to die right here and now. Naruto, Mikashi, and Makoto will take care of Orochimaru while you go on alone to rescue Sasuke," said Tommy. "You got to be kidding me, Tommy. There's no way I am going to let you and Makoto face Orochimaru by yourselves, as he is more powerful than Kabuto is," said Naruto. You don't have to worry about the two of us Naruto, as we can beat Orochimaru, especially since I have all of his jutsu at my disposal, not to mention the Sharingan as well. Besides, Sasuke is our #1 concern right now," said Makoto. Makoto's right. Naruto, our #1 concern right now is rescuing Sasuke, and you can't do that right now if you are helping us fight Orochimaru. Besides, I will not let anything bad happen to Makoto while I am alive," said Tommy. "Alright, you two made your point. I will go after Sasuke and leave Orochimaru to you two. But just be careful," said Naruto. "You got it, Naruto-kun. Now go before I make you myself," said Makoto. With that, Naruto left Tommy and Makoto alone to go after Sasuke by himself. After searching a few rooms on the last level, Naruto came to the last door at the end of the hallway and decided to check it out. With that, Naruto opened the door and went inside. Once inside, Naruto saw the room was lit up by candles, and standing at the end of the room was a stuffed snake with 2 candles coming out of its eyes, and there was a figure standing in front of it. "Well, a long time no see, Naruto," said a very familiar voice. "Same to you, Sasuke. So how about if it's just talking? How about I take you back to the village where Ka-san can get rid of that curse mark of yours and you can become a ninja of the Leaf Village again," said Naruto. "Why would I go back to that village of losers with you when I have gotten a lot stronger thanks to Orochimaru," said Sasuke. "Because Orochimaru just wants you for your body, Sasuke, and nothing else. Besides, you're not the only one that has gotten stronger over the past 3 years," said Naruto, smiling. "Yes, I can feel the power radiating off of you, Naruto. Which is why I want to fight you alone to see if you have gotten stronger than me now," said Sasuke, smiling. "Well, since it appears that you will not come with me by choice, then I will just have to take you back to the village by force, Sasuke. Ninja Ranger Power Ninja Quest Mode," said Naruto as his ninja uniform appeared. "Well, looks like you're ready to fight me, Naruto. But are you strong enough this time?" asked Sasuke, activating his Sharingan. "Well, we just have to find out, don't we, Sasuke?" replied Naruto, smiling. With that, they both charge at each other. Naruto quickly went for a roundhouse kick that Sasuke avoided and hit Naruto right in the chest with his foot, sending back a couple of feet. Naruto quickly recovered as Sasuke came at him, throwing a couple of kuni, with Naruto quickly hit aside with his hands. Naruto quickly formed a Rasengan in his hand and Sasuke came at him with a Chidori. Naruto quickly ran towards Sasuke as he was covered in black and gold flame-like aura that mix into the Rasengan as well. When the two attacks contacted, there was an explosion and a cloud of dust as Sasuke was sent flying backwards, hitting the wall of the room. When the smoke cleared, Sasuke looked up and saw that Naruto was still standing and was unharmed as well, which made Sasuke angry. "How the hell can you still be standing and unharmed, Dobi?" demanded Sasuke as he got to his feet. "Because of the training I went to and the power I attained over the last 3 years that made me stronger than ever before. So just give up while you still can, Sasuke, as I am stronger than you now," replied Naruto. "Never, Dobi, as I am far from finish," said Sasuke, angry. With that, Sasuke activated his curse mark level 2 and transformed into the same form that defeated Naruto before. "I guess you're going to make things hard on yourself, Sasuke. Wild access," said Naruto as he morphed into the Lunar Wolf Ranger. With that, they charge at each other once again. Sasuke quickly power up another more powerful Chidori, aim right at Naruto, only to look in surprise, and Naruto caught his hand and delivered a kick to Sasuke's stomach, sending him flying once again. Naruto quickly flicked his left wrist as the Jungle Fury Wolf Morpher appeared and Naruto said, "Jungle Beast Spirit Unleash," and morphed into the Jungle Fury Wolf Ranger and went after Sasuke by delivering a roundhouse kick to his chest, sending him to the ground. Sasuke quickly got back up just as Naruto fired a beam of purple light that came out of the wolf Morpher and hit Sasuke's left shoulder, leaving a burn mark and leaving Sasuke in a lot of pain. Naruto then brought out Linbo's Mystic Morpher and said, "Magical Source Mystic Force," as he morphed into the Wolf Warrior, complete with sword and shield, and look at Sasuke. "Give up while you still can, Sasuke, as you have no chance against me now," said Naruto. "I will never give up to a weak Dobi like you," replied Sasuke with venom in his voice. "Then you leave me no choice but to finish this battle once and for all." "Burning Slash Attack," said Naruto. With that, Naruto slashed down with his sword as a wave of red fire came out of it and headed right towards Sasuke, hitting him in the chest and sending him down in a shower of sparks and smoke. When the smoke cleared, Naruto saw that Sasuke was no longer in his curse mark level 2 form and was now out cold. With that, Naruto demorphed and walked over to Sasuke and was surprised to see that Sasuke's curse mark was no longer there and realized the only way that his could have disappeared was because of the fact that Orochimaru was longer alive and there was no longer any way for the curse mark to remain without the creator being alive to power it up. Looks like the others came through like they said they would. Now I think it's time for me to get Sasuke out of this place before we end up blowing it up for good, thought Naruto. With that, Naruto picked up Sasuke and put his arm over his shoulder and carry him out of the room to see if the others were alright. After walking the halls for 15 minutes, Naruto finally saw the others up ahead and saw that everyone looked alright and headed towards them carrying Sasuke with him. "Naruto, you made it," said Sakura as she saw Naruto coming towards her and the others. "Yes, I did, and I managed to bring Sasuke with me as well," replied Naruto, smiling. "Well, that is good to know, Naruto, as we were worried sick about you," said Kagura. "Well, thanks for saying that, Kagura, and it looks like you all made it in one piece as well," said Naruto. "Yeah, we did, Naruto. Orochimaru didn't put up much of a fight when I used my Sharingan on him, and Tommy used his Super Dino mode as well to finish it," Makoto, smiling. "Well, Kabuto wasn't as tough as he looked when I used my battleizer on him, and from the looks of Sasuke, when Orochimaru died, the curse mark he put on Sasuke must have disappeared as well," said Andros. "Yeah, it did. But now that everything is over, I think we should get out of here and go back to the village, as I can imagine my parents are worried about me," said Naruto. "You got that right, Naruto. So how about we blow this place up and head back to the village for some well-deserved rest," said Tommy. With that, they all headed to the Triceramax Command Center. Once they got inside, Tommy pointed the lasers at Orochimaru's lair at full power and fired at the entrance. Once the lasers hit their target, there was a huge explosion as Orochimaru's lair went up in a giant ball of fire. Once that was done, they headed back to the Astro Megaship, and once there they headed right back to the village with Sasuke. Once at the village, Sasuke was taken to the hospital to be checked out by Lady Tsunade, to told everyone that Sasuke would be out cold until tomorrow and told everyone to get some rest. The next morning, Naruto came by the hospital with Rin and Sakura to check to see how Sasuke was doing and went to his room. Once they got to Sasuke's room, they saw that Sasuke was now sitting up in his bed with Tsunade checking him to make sure everything was alright. Once they got inside, Naruto looked at Sasuke, who looked at him as well. "Good to see you're up and about now, Sasuke," said Naruto. "Yeah, I am, and Lady Tsunade here said that I should be out of the hospital any day now," replied Sasuke. "That's good to know. So how are you feeling now that you no longer have the curse mark on you?" asked Rin. "I feel more like my old self. Which reminds me, Naruto, thanks for not giving up on me since I left the village to go to Orochimaru 3 years ago. Now I realize that you were only trying to be good friend to me all those years ago. I just wish I wasn't blinded with revenge against my brother to see that I have friends who cared about me enough to come after me after what I did," replied Sasuke. "Well, you're welcome, Sasuke. We're just glad to have you back in the village and back to normal," said Naruto. "Yeah, now that you are back with us, we can be a team again," said Sakura, smiling. "That's the way I feel it should be as well, but just because I am back doesn't mean I am going to stop training until I am stronger than you, Naruto," said Sasuke, smiling. "Well, that's the way I would have it, Sasuke. You training to become strong without thinking of revenge. So friends?" said Naruto, holding out his hand to Sasuke. "You got it, Naruto, friends it is," said Sasuke, shaking Naruto's hand. With that, everyone in the room smiled, knowing that Sasuke was back to normal and they were friends once again, and ready to face anything that came their way. It now had been a little over a month since Naruto and the others had rescued Sasuke and killed Orochimaru once and for all. During that time, Naruto had gotten married to all of his girlfriends, and they and his mothers had moved into Minato's house, so they had more room for Naruto and his wives to raise their future children in. Now Naruto and the others were on the animarium looking at the stars in the night sky, thinking about everything that had happened to them so far. "Hard to believe it's been a little over a month now since we defeated Orochimaru and brought Sasuke back to the village," said Sakura. "Yeah, not to mention getting married to the man of our dreams too," said Runo. While I am just glad we don't have to worry about anything right now, said Rose. You're right about that, Rose. We can all just relax right now for a while and not worry about anything else, said Naruto looking at the night sky. You got that right, Naruto-kun. Speaking of which, how are things going between your Aunt Anko and Tommy? Asked Hinata, curious. Everything is going fine between the two of them. But I still can't get over the fact that my Aunt Anko fell in love with Tommy, replied Naruto. Well, what do you expect, Naruto? Ever since you came back with Tommy and Andros, Anko hasn't stopped thinking about how cute Tommy is and all the things he did as a ranger, said Kurenai. Yeah, I am just surprised that it took Anko so long to finally gather up the courage to ask Tommy out on a date, and now ever since then those two have been inseparable from each other, said Rin. I know, Rin. I am happy for my Aunt Anko, but it still gives me the creeps sometimes as I can't image those two being together as they are so different in personality, said Naruto with a shudder. Well, all we can say is deal with it for now. Besides, you may have to call Tommy uncle very soon the way he and Anko are in love with each other, said Kin, smiling. Speaking of which, how are things between your sister Maya and Cole? Asked Akiza, curious. They're doing just fine, Akiza, ever since they got to know each other better, replied Naruto, smiling. Well, that is good to hear, as they both seem like they were meant for each other, said Kyuubi. Yeah, I know that, Kyuubi, and I can image those two getting married as they have so much in common, said Naruto. Yeah, they sure do seem to have a lot in common. But the biggest thing they have in common is their ability to speak to the Wild Zords and the Galactabeast, said Tsunami. You got that right, Tsunami, they're the only ones that can understand what the Wild Zords and Galactabeast are saying, said Naruto. That is good. But there seems to be something on your mind a lot lately, Naruto, and we want to know what is bothering you, said Kagura, concerned. If you all must know what is on mind, it happens to be the fact that I am worried about what the Akatsuki and the Psycho Rangers are planning, replied Naruto. Why are you worried about them? For as you and the other ranger, not to mention all of us, have been training very hard to be prepared for what the Akatsuki and the Psycho Rangers have planned, said Tayuya. I know we have all been training very hard, Tayuya. But knowing what the Psycho Rangers are capable of thanks to Andros and who is in the Akatsuki, we can never be too careful. Especially now knowing that they are both working together, that makes them more dangerous than they are alone. Besides, I can't help but feel their plan has something to do with the tailed beast, replied Naruto, concerned. You're probably right about that, Naruto-kun, since me and the other tailed beast have huge amounts of chakra. There's no telling what they might do if they ever got a hold of me and the others, said Kyuubi. I know, Kyuubi, and that is what I am worried about, losing you for good to evil people like them, said Naruto. Well, that's not going to happen with you and the other rangers protecting the village from the Psycho Rangers and Akatsuki, said Okami. Yeah, they would have to be very crazy to attack the village with you and the others being here, not to mention all of the ninja that your mother Tsunade has assigned to protect the village, said Kosmos. You're probably right, Kosmos. But it still doesn't make the feeling go away, said Naruto. Well, all we can say is just relax and not think about the Psycho Rangers and the Akatsuki, said Princess Yuki. Yeah, tonight is a nice night to just relax and look at the stars, added Pink. I guess you two are right, it is a nice night to just relax and look at the stars tonight, said Naruto. That sounds more like the Naruto we love and married, said Makoto. Yep, and tonight we can just enjoy the night sky, and tomorrow we can worry about the Psycho Rangers and the Akatsuki and what they have planned, added Kurumi. With that, they look up at the sky and saw a shooting star streak across the sky. Meanwhile, in the Akatsuki lair, all the members of the Akatsuki were gathered in their meeting place to discuss their plan to attack the village. It's been 3 years now, Pain, since we decided we would attack the village to capture the Kyuubi. So what is your plan to destroy the village and get the Kyuubi for us? Asked Deidara. Yes, I am interested as well what your plan is for us to get our hands on the Kyuubi, Pain, added Zetsu. My Path village and capture the Kyuubi isn't really mine to begin with, replied Pain. What do you mean not your plan? Demanded Kisame. The plan to destroy the village and capture the Kyuubi belongs to the true leaders of the Akatsuki and not us, replied Konan. And who would they be? Asked Hidan, curious. That would be us, said Psycho Red's voice. With that, the Psycho Rangers step out of the darkness of the room and look at the members of the Akatsuki. Who or what are you five? asked Kakuzu shocked. We are the Psycho Rangers and we're the ones in charge, replied Psycho Blue. How can you five be in charge when Lord Pain is our leader? Demanded Itachi. Because Pain serves us as does Conan, and we planned for a while to pretend Pain here was in charge until the time for us to show ourselves to you came, replied Psycho Black. And now that we are here we can put our plan into action, said Psycho Pink. Well, I for one don't care about your plan. I don't listen to anybody that tricks me, and since I'm being tricked by you five, you all will pay with your lives, said Sasori. With that, Sasori charged at the Psycho Rangers with the intent to kill them when of a sudden he was hit by laser blasts that came from Psycho Yellow's weapon, making him hit the ground hard with the Psycho Rangers pointed their weapons at him ready to kill him. You're a big fool, Sasori, to try and kill us when we are more powerful than you and the Akatsuki combined, said Psycho Yellow. Yes, but you and the rest of the Akatsuki are still useful to us. So we will let you live, but don't think about trying to kill us again or you will regret it, said Psycho Blue. With that, they allowed Sasori to get to his feet and take his place with the other members of the Akatsuki, who look at the Psycho Rangers with a look of amazement at their display of power. Alright, you five have proven to us you have what it takes to lead us in completing our mission to capture the tailed beast and take over this world, said Kisame. So what is this plan of yours to take down the Leaf Village and capture the Kyuubi, said Hidan. Simple, we're going to attack the village head-on in a full-scale attack led by us, since the village will not expect us to do something like that, replied Psycho Black, and once we attack the village we will kill everyone there including the Power Rangers, since the last time we went against them we became more powerful than ever before. So there will be no chance that they would stop our combined power, said Psycho Pink. Yes, that might just work, and once we get our hands on the Kyuubi and the rest of the tailed beast we can use their powers to take over the world without anyone stopping us, said Zetsu. Yes. But why stop at ruling the world when we can use their powers to take over the entire universe as well, said Psycho Red. Yes, you're correct, my lord. Why take over one world when there's entire universe to rule over, said Conan. Correct, Conan, and once we take out the Power Rangers and the Leaf Village there will be no one standing in our way of taking the universe over, said Psycho Red, laughing evilly. With that, the Psycho Rangers and the Akatsuki started to put their plan on destroying the Leaf Village and the Power Rangers into action. The next morning Naruto woke up to the sound of his alarm clock going off, waking him out of his deep sleep. Naruto slammed his hand on the snooze button and got out of his bed to start the day. Naruto went into his bathroom and took a hot shower and then brushed his teeth. Once that was done, Naruto then got dressed and headed down the stairs and saw his mother Kushina making breakfast. Good morning, Naruto. Breakfast will be ready in a minute, said Kushina, looking at Naruto smiling. Thanks, Mom, and good morning to you as well, said Naruto. With that, Naruto sat at the table and Kushina came to the table with breakfast and she and Naruto started to eat. As they were eating, Naruto decided to ask Kushina a question. Hey Mom, mind if I ask you a question? Asked Naruto. Sure you can, Naruto. What is on your mind? Replied Kushina. Well, I was wondering where Ka-san and the others were at since they aren't here eating breakfast with us, asked Naruto. Well, Sakura and the others are training at Training Ground 7, trying to get ready for battle if the Psycho Rangers and the Akatsuki decide to attack the village, and your mother Tsunade is at the Hokage's tower meeting with Andros and the other Rangers trying to come up with a plan to destroy the Psycho Rangers for good. Which reminds me, Naruto, Tsunade wants you to head straight to the tower to see her and the other Rangers once you're done with breakfast, as what she has to discuss with you is very important and couldn't wait until she got back, replied Kushina. Well, in that case I better go see Ka-san right away to see what she wants to talk to me about, said Naruto. With that, Naruto finished eating his breakfast. Once Naruto cleaned up, he said goodbye to his mother and headed out the door and towards the Hokage's tower. After walking for 15 minutes, Naruto finally came to the Hokage's tower and went inside and up the fleet of stairs and stopped right in front of the Hokage's office and knocked on the door and heard Tsunade's voice say, "Come in." With that, Naruto opened the door and went inside and saw Tsunade sitting at her desk with Andros and the other Rangers standing in front of her. Naruto, good to see you. Could come here when I told Kushina I wanted to talk to you. Please have a seat, said Tsunade. With that, Naruto sat down in the chair in front of Tsunade's desk and looked at Tsunade. Mom told me you have something you wanted to talk to me about, Ka-san. So what is it you have to tell me that couldn't wait until Later, asked Naruto. Well, the reason I called you here, Naruto, is to tell you we finally found a weakness in the Psycho Rangers that we could use against them thanks to the blueprints that I went over with Andros and Tommy, replied Tsunade. You mean to tell me you and the other Rangers found a weakness in the Psycho Rangers that we could use to destroy them once and for all? Asked Naruto, shocked. Yes, we did, Naruto, replied Andros. So how do we destroy the Psycho Rangers once and for all? Asked Naruto. Well, that is very simple really, Naruto. All we need to do is get the Psycho Rangers alone and combine all our firepower into one huge blast of energy that we need to send into the visors of the Psycho Rangers, since that is their weak point, and once that is done they should be gone for good, replied Tommy. So what are we waiting for? We should go after the Psycho Rangers and the Akatsuki right now before they can put their plan into action, said Naruto. That sounds like a good idea to us, Naruto. But there is a problem with it, said Maya. What problem is that? Asked Naruto, confused. Well, we don't know where the Akatsuki's hideout is located, and until we found out where they're hiding, all we can do is be prepared to protect the village in case they attack it to get to Kyubi, replied Alyssa. You mean to tell me we have to sit here and wait for the Psycho Rangers and the Akatsuki to make their move and attack the village before we can destroy all of them for good? Asked Naruto. Yes, I am afraid that's all we can do for now, Naruto. But the village is well protected with you and the other rangers here, not to mention the ninja of the village are here as well to make sure nothing bad happens to innocent people, replied Tsunade. As soon as Tsunade said that, there was a sound of a huge explosion that sounded like it came from the village gates, and the office shook until it finally stopped. What was that? Asked Taylor. I don't know, Taylor, but it didn't sound very good to me, said Max. At that moment the door to the Hokage's office opened and a Anbu came into the room and he looked very injured. Lady Tsunade, we have a problem, said the Anbu in a weak voice. What kind of a problem, and who did this to you? Asked Tsunade, concerned. It's the Akatsuki, they're attacking the village with 5 unknown people leading them. They set off an explosion that broke the gates to the village and took out a few of my Anbu. The other Shinbo are Akatsuki and holding their own against them, including Kurenai and the others. But I am afraid that the Akatsuki partners are more powerful than we thought and are heading towards here, taking out any Shinbo getting in their way. I have the feeling they're after your son Naruto for the Kyubi that is sealed within him, replied the Anbu. With that the Anbu fell to the ground out cold, and Lady Tsunade looked at Naruto and the other rangers. This isn't good for us. The Psycho Rangers are already attacking the village with the Akatsuki when we were least expecting it. Naruto, you and the other rangers have got to stop the Psycho Rangers before they harm any innocent lives, said Tsunade. You got T-Ka-san, me and the other rangers will take care of the Psycho Rangers once and for all, said Naruto. You got that right. There will be nothing left of them when we get through with them, said Danny. Thanks for saying that. I just know with you all here the village is in good hands, said Tsunade. Don't mention it, Lady Tsunade. Alright you guys, it's time we take out the Psycho Rangers once and for all, said Cole. With that the Rangers left the office to go fight the Psycho Rangers. Meanwhile, in the streets of the village the Psycho Rangers were taking out any ninja that got in their way of making it to the Hokage Tower by injuring most of the ninja with their weapons. This is too easy. These ninja are no match for us, said Psycho Blue. Yeah, I was hoping for more of a challenge myself, said Psycho Black. Well, I hope we get to battle the Power Rangers, as maybe they may be more of a challenge for us, said Psycho Pink. Yeah, I want to test my strength on them as well, said Psycho Yellow. Well, we may get our chance, as with all the damage we and the Akatsuki are doing to the village, the Rangers will show up to fight us. And when they do, it will be the end of them for good, said Psycho Red. With that the Psycho Rangers continued on their way to the Hokage's tower when all of a sudden they were hit by laser fire. They hit them but didn't leave scratch on them. When the Psycho Rangers looked in the direction of where the laser fire came from, they saw the Power Rangers morph standing in front of them with their weapons drawn at them. Hold it right there, Psycho Rangers. This is as far as you get, said Andros. Well, look what we have here, my fellow Psycho Rangers, at the Power Rangers. We been waiting for you to finally show up, but I didn't expect to see you, Andros. This is an unexpected bonus for us. Not only can we destroy the village and the Rangers all at once, but I can finally get my revenge on you for what you did to me and the others a long time ago, said Psycho Red, laughing. That's not going to happen, Psycho Red. So tell us now how you and the other Psycho Rangers managed to survive and get to this world and what your plans are for the tailed beast, demanded Tommy. If you must know how we managed to survive and get to this world. It's very simple because you see when we were destroyed and sent to the abyss of evil all we could think about was how we were going to get out and get our revenge until one day we stumble across a strange portal that appeared out of nowhere. We didn't care where this portal led to as long as we got out of where we were. So we went through the portal and ended up here in this world and we found out that we're more powerful than ever before and decided to explore this new world to see what we could learn about it so we could take it over. After a while we came across a person named Madara Uchiha who we learned led a group of powerful ninja named Akatsuki, and when he found out about our power he decided he wanted it for himself, but the fool didn't reveal who he was messing with. So in the end we killed him without much of a thought and decided to take over his little group of ninja where we learned from Pain and Conan about the tailed beast and the power they contain. So we struck a deal with the two of them. If they serve us without question, then we would help them get the tailed beast and use their power to take over not only this world but the entire universe, and we would reward them for serving us by giving them control over the earth once our plan was completed. Now all we need from this village is the Kyuubi, and then it will be only a matter of collecting the last two tailed beast and then we can take over this universe for ourselves, replied Psycho Red. That's not going to happen as long as we are around to stop you once and for all, said Maya. Oh, like you Rangers can stop us when we are more powerful than ever before, said Psycho Blue. We will stop you, and when we're done with you there will be nothing left of you five for you to cause any more trouble, said Naruto angry. Well, in that case I think we will have to kill you all then, said Psycho Black. We will see about that. You guys ready to get rid of these guys once and for all? Said Cole. You bet we are, Cole, said Max. We will see about that, Rangers. I think it's time for a little Psycho Ranger rumble, said Psycho Red. With that they charge each other head on. Naruto went for a roundhouse kick aim at Psycho Red, only for Psycho Red to avoid it and hit Naruto in the stomach with a flying kick, sending Naruto flying a couple of feet. Psycho Red then looked up to see Andros and Cole coming down at him with their weapons drawn ready to end him. When to the surprise to the both of them, Psycho Red brought out his sword and blocked both their attacks and fire a beam of energy from his hand that hit the both of them, sending them to the ground hard. Meanwhile Maya and Taylor were fighting Psycho Yellow, who was avoiding each and every one of their attacks when all of a sudden Psycho Yellow brought out her weapon and fired a few laser blasts at the two Yellow Rangers that hit them both in the chest, sending them into the air. Psycho Yellow quickly jumped into the air and delivered two punches to Maya and Taylor's stomachs, sending them both to the ground hard. Not too far away Alyssa was fighting Psycho Pink and delivered a kick to Psycho Pink's stomach, sending her flying a couple of feet. Psycho Pink quickly recovered as Alyssa was coming at her with the intent to finish her off. Psycho Pink quickly reacted by grabbing a hold of Alyssa's arm and sent her flying into a building, and then fired a few laser blasts at Alyssa as she got back to her feet, making her fall to the ground in a shower of sparks. Meanwhile Max was fighting Psycho Blue with his shark fighting fins, only to have Psycho Blue avoided each of his attempts to hit him. Psycho Blue grabbed a hold of Max's arms as Max attacked him again and sent him flying through the air. Psycho Blue then fired a beam of blue energy from his hand that hit Max and sent him to the ground hard on his back. Meanwhile Tommy and Danny were fighting Psycho Black, who so far was giving a tough time by blocking their attacks with his weapon. When all of a sudden Psycho Black used his weapon to make Tommy and Danny lose their grasp on their weapons and losing them. Psycho Black then slashed the air with his weapon and a wave of black light came out from it and headed towards Tommy and Danny, hitting the both of them in the chest and making them fall to the ground hard in a shower of sparks and smoke. After 10 more minutes the Power Rangers were now on the ground with the Psycho Rangers standing a few feet away with their weapons pointed at them. Looks like you're no match for us Rangers, said Psycho Black. Yeah, I was expecting more of a challenge from you myself, said Psycho Blue. You Rangers should give up right now and maybe we will spare your lives, said Psycho Red. That's not going to happen as long as we are still standing, said Tommy. Yeah, and we're going to take you 5 out no matter what, said Naruto. And how do you plan on doing that when we are stronger than you? Asked Psycho Pink. Simple like this. You guys ready? Said Andros. You bet Andros, let's do it, said Cole. Alright then, red battleized ranger power up. Said Andor's Animarium armor power up, said Cole. Super Dino mode, said Tommy. Lights of Orion activate, said Maya. Magus, said Naruto. All of a sudden there was bright flash of light, and when it faded, standing in front of the Psycho Rangers were Andros and Cole in their armor modes, while Tommy was in his Super Dino mode with Maya next to him with her light Orion armor, and finally next to them was Naruto in his Wolf Warrior armor with the rest of the Rangers with their weapons drawn. Nice trick, Rangers. But that will not stop us from destroying you, said Psycho Red. But you're wrong, Psycho Red, we have more than enough power to defeat you and the others for good, replied Andros. Then go ahead and prove it, Red Rangers, said Psycho Yellow. Alright then, don't say we didn't warn you. Alright guys, let's do this. We only have one shot to defeat them for good. Let's make it count, said Andros. You got it, Andros, said Naruto. With that, Rangers gather up energy for one final attack and fired a giant beam of energy from their weapons that headed straight towards the Psycho Rangers, who were unable to avoid the attack as it hit them right in their helmets, and they then fell to the ground in a shower of sparks and smoke, followed by a huge explosion. Did we get them? Asked Max as the smoke cleared. Once the smoke finally cleared, the Rangers were shocked to discover that the Psycho Rangers were still standing but were now badly injured from the combine attack. I don't believe it, they're still alive, said Alyssa. Yes, we are White Ranger. Unfortunately for you, that blast of your only damage us and not destroy us. But enough of this talk. I think it's time we take this fight to the next level, said Psycho Red. With that, the Psycho Rangers were covered in white light, and when it faded they all had grown to the size of a Megazord and were standing over the Rangers. This isn't good, said Danny. Yeah, I know. But there's only one thing left to do, and that is to call the Zords, said Andros. Then let's do it, said Cole. With that, the Cole and the other Wild Force Rangers called on their Wild Zords as it Naruto, while Maya called on the Galactabeast and transformed them into the Galactazords, and Andros called on the Astros Megazord. The Cole and the others combined the Wild Zords into the Wild Force Megazord, while Naruto combined his into the Predazord. Maya combined the Galactazords into the Galaxy Megazord in power-up mode, and Andros and Tommy went inside the Astro Megazord. The Psycho Rangers look at the 4 Megazords in front of them. Well, it looks like it 5 against 4. And the odds are in our favor, said Psycho Red. We shall see about that, Psycho Red, because today is the day you and the rest of the Psycho Rangers are destroyed for good, said Naruto. Then go ahead and prove it, Ranger. Psycho Red. With that, the 4 Megazords and the Psycho Rangers charge each other head-on. Psycho Black and Blue battled the Wild Force Megazord, blocking each of its attacks with their weapons, and both of them delivered a kick to the Wild Force Megazord, sending it backwards a couple of feet, and then fired beams of energy from their weapons hitting the Megazord right in the chest, making it fall to the ground. Meanwhile, Psycho Yellow was doing battle with the Galaxy Megazord, which had managed to deliver a hit to her with the Galaxy Megazord saber to her chest, sending her to the ground hard. Psycho Yellow managed to get to her feet as the Galaxy Megazord came for another attack with its sword, only for Psycho Yellow to block with her hands, and then delivered a kick to its chest, sending it back a couple of feet, and then Psycho Yellow brought out her weapon and fired a few laser blasts at it that hit it dead on, and it was sent backwards a couple of feet in a shower of sparks. Psycho Pink meanwhile was fighting the Astro Megazord, who blocked every one of her attacks with its shield and then attack her with its sword that hit her and sent her to the ground on one knee. Psycho Pink then recovered just as the Astro Megazord came at her again with its sword ready to finish her off, when all of a sudden Psycho Pink rolled out of the way as the sword came down at her. Psycho Pink then got back to her feet and then leaped high into the air and delivered a flying kick to the Astro Megazord, knocking the shield from it as it, and then Psycho Pink unleashed a beam of pink light from her hand, hitting the Megazord and sending it flying to the ground in a shower of smoke and sparks. Meanwhile, the Predazord was fighting Psycho Red, who so far was landing hit after hit on it, sending backwards. The Predazord got back to its feet just as Psycho Red came at it with his sword that struck it right in the chest, and then Psycho Red unleashed a stream of fire from the sword that hit the Predazord dead on, sending it to the ground. After a couple more minutes of fighting, the 4 Megazords were now on the ground as the Psycho Rangers were coming towards them. This isn't good, you guys. We tired everything we have at the Psycho Rangers and they still keep coming back, said Cole. I know what you mean, Cole. But there must be a way for us to defeat the Psycho Rangers, said Maya. There is one more way we can defeat them, you guys, said Andros. How? Asked Danny. By Naruto using all of his Zords and combing them with the Predazord like he did against Daishi before, replied Tommy. That's right, I remember that battle. It was a tough fight against Daishi until I combined everyone on my Zords I had with the Predazord, which gave me the power to defeat him once and for all. If I do the same thing, we might be able to destroy the Psycho Rangers once and for all, said Naruto. Well, I suggest you do it now, Naruto, before we are all finished, said Max. Alright then, let's do it. I call on the power of all my Zords now to help us in this fight, said Naruto. As Naruto said that, the Psycho Rangers were standing over them ready to deliver the final blow when from out of nowhere they were hit by a giant laser beam that came out of nowhere, hitting them all in the chest, sending them back a couple of feet. When the Psycho Rangers looked in the direction of the laser blast, they saw a fleet of Zords coming towards them. The Zords consist of the Dragon Zord, Tyrannosaurus Rex Dinozord, the Q-Rex, Wolf Ninja Zord, Dragon Wild Zord, Cobra Wild Zord, Phoenix Wild Zord, Samurai Star Megazord, Thunder Ninja Zords, Dragozord, Tyrannozord, Arctic Tyrannozord, Tricerazord, Arctic Tricerazord, Dimetrozord, Ankylozord, Tiger Spirit Zord, Jaguar Spirit Zord, Cheetah Spirit Zord, Wolf Spirit Zord, Lion Spirit Zord, Rhino Spirit Zord, Sonic Streaker Drive Max Zord, and the Drill Diver Drive Max Zord. Alright, Ultra Predazord power up, said Naruto. With that, the Predazord combined with the other Zords. The Predazord's legs disappeared as the Tricerazord and Arctic Tricerazord form into legs and attach to the Predazord. The Dragon Zord, Q-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Dinozord, Tyrannozord and Arctic Tyrannozord broke apart and attached to the Predazord as armor. The Jaguar and Cheetah Spirit Zord broke apart and attached to the sides of the Tricerazord and Arctic Tricerazord as armor. The Dimetrozord, Ankylozord and Drill Diver then split apart and attached to the Hammerhead and Wolf Wild Zords and Beckmay armor and laser cannons. The Tiger and Lion Spirit Zords meanwhile split apart and attached to the chest of the Predazord as armor as well. The Sonic Streaker, Dragozord, Dragon Wild Zord and Phoenix Wild Zords broke apart and attached to the Predazord's back, forming armor and wings. The Rhino Spirit Zord broke apart and attached to the body of the Predazord, forming body armor, with the head of the Rhino Spirit Zord attaching to the head of the Hammerhead, forming a shield with the horn as a sword. The Samurai Star Megazord broke apart as well and attached to the Predazord as body armor as well. The Cobra Wild Zord attached to the Wolf Wild Zord, becoming a sword as well. Finally, the Wolf Ninja Zord and Wolf Spirit Zord attached to the Predazord's shoulders and became cannons. The Ultra Predazord then looked at the Psycho Rangers. Alright, Psycho Rangers. This time you're finished for good, said Naruto. Like you have the power to stop us by yourself, Ranger, said Psycho Black. I have all the power 5 for good right here, said Naruto. Then prove it to us, Ranger, said Psycho Red. With that, the Psycho Rangers charged the Ultra Predazord. Psycho Blue and Psycho Black fired their weapons at the Ultra Predazord only for it to block it with its shield. The Ultra Predazord fired 2 laser blasts from its cannons that hit both Psycho Black and Psycho Blue right in the chest, sending them flying backwards. Psycho Pink and Psycho Yellow came out of nowhere to try and deliver a kick to the Ultra Predazord, only to look in surprise as it caught both of their legs with its arms and then sent them to the ground hard. The Ultra Predazord then went after Psycho Red, who went after it with his sword only to have the Ultra Predazord block it with both of its swords, and then it fired laser blast from the lasers on its legs that hit Psycho Red in the chest, sending him to the ground in a shower of sparks and smoke. Alright, it's time to finish this once and for all. Ultra Predazord Blue Moonwave, shouted Naruto. The Psycho Rangers got back to their feet just as they saw a silver, gold and blue beam come out of the Ultra Predazord that hit them all and sent them to the ground in a shower of sparks and smoke, followed by a huge explosion. When the smoke cleared, there was no sign of the Psycho Rangers anywhere but only a burnt mark where they stood. Looks like that's the end of the Psycho Rangers for good, said Andros. Yeah, it is, Andros. But now that is done, we should go check to see how the others are doing with Akatsuki, said Naruto. With that, the Rangers jump out of the Megazords and started to search for the Sakura and the others to see how they made out with the Akatsuki. After searching for an hour, Naruto and the other rangers finally found Sakura and the others and saw that they were alright and that they managed to kill the Akatsuki, but no, without losing a good number of ninja. With that, everyone decided to head to the Hokage's tower to Lady Tsunade how everything had went. Once they got back to the tower, they told Lady Tsunade everything that happened with the Akatsuki and the Psycho Rangers. That's as good news to hear that we don't have to worry about the Akatsuki and the Psycho Rangers anymore thanks to you all, said Tsunade after hearing the report from Naruto and the others. Yeah, we are too. But I just wish we didn't have to lose so many good ninja in Oretter to protect the village from harm, said Naruto. I know what you mean, Naruto. A lot of good people gave their lives today to make sure that evil people like the Akatsuki and the Psycho Rangers couldn't kill innocent people, said Sakura. Yes, Sakura is right, Naruto. The ninja who died today were true heroes to our village and they died with honor, said Kushina. Yeah, and thanks to them and as the Psycho Rangers and the Akatsuki are gone for good and can't harm any more people and carry out their plans of taking over the universe, said Cole. I know that, Cole. But what if the Psycho Rangers come back again like they did in the past and try again to take over the universe? Asked Naruto. I wouldn't worry about that, Naruto, said a voice. All of a sudden there was bright flash of white light, and when it faded, standing in front of everyone was Zordon. Zordon, what are you doing here? Asked Naruto, shocked. I am here to congratulate you and the others on a job well done in defeating the great evil that treated in this world, replied Zordon. Thanks, Zordon. But what is going to happen if the Psycho Rangers manage to come back from the dead like they did before and try to finish their plans and we're not there to stop them? Asked Naruto. Yeah, Naruto's right, Zordon. The Psycho Rangers were destroyed twice before and they came back more powerful than ever. So how can we be sure they are gone for good this time? Added Andros. Because you see, when you destroyed the Psycho Rangers, I took their spirits and put them in limbo and put a special seal on the portal that I used to bring them there to make sure they stay put, and there is no power in existence that can break that seal. So you all will never have to worry about the Psycho Rangers ever again, replied Zordon. That's good to know, as I don't think any of us want to face them ever again after our battle with them, said Tommy. Yes, and now that you all have defeated them, you don't have to ever worry about facing the forces of evil again, as you all have defeated it. Now that is done, I will take my left and wish you all best of luck with the future. May the power protect you all forever, said Zordon. With that, Zordon disappeared in a flash of white light. Well, I don't know about you, but since we defeated the great evil that Zordon told us about, I think we should celebrate our victory, said Max. I agree with you, Max. After everything we've been through, we deserve a little break, said Taylor. With that, they all headed up to Animarium to celebrate the Psycho Rangers and the Akatsuki. Once they got there, Alyssa cooked up a meal for everyone to eat as the others sat down in the clearing of the Animarium talking about everything that had happened to them so far as the meal was served. As they were eating, Naruto and the other rangers told the others stories about their lives as rangers and the battles they face and how lucky to have each other as friends. As everyone was talking, Naruto couldn't help but feel like that after everything that had happened to him, he had finally found redemption at long last for what he had done as Zen-Aku, and how lucky he was to have people who cared about him as well. Naruto then looked up at the full moon in the night sky and smiled, knowing that the future was going to be bright for him and the others. A year and a half later, it now had been a year and a half since Naruto and the other rangers had defeated the Psycho Rangers and the Akatsuki for good, and during that time the village had been rebuilt better than ever before, and Naruto wives Runo, Rin, Tsunami, Kurenai, Princess Yuki, Kin, Tayuya, Kosmos, and Hinata had gotten pregnant during that time and had given birth to Naruto's children. Runo had a daughter that looked just like her, and she and Naruto had decided to name her after her mother, Rin, Tsunami, Princess Yuki, Kurenai, Tayuya and Kin had also given birth to little girls that looked just like their mothers, and they and Naruto had named them Yukina, Fiona, Yuri, Sapphire, Ruby, and Botan. Hinata had also given birth to a daughter as well, while Cosmos ended up having twins, a boy and a girl. Hinata's daughter looked just like her mother and was named Hanabi after her sister, while Cosmos' daughter looked just like her, while her son happened to have black hair with blonde highlights with brown eyes and looked just like what Naruto did when he was Merrick, and she and Naruto had decided to name their daughter Maya after his sister and their son Merrick in honor of Naruto's past life. Now Naruto and them were now sitting in the living room of the house with Sakura, Kyuubi, Okami, Rose, Kagura, Akiza, Pink, Makoto, Kurumi, and Ino, who were now about 9 months pregnant, along with Tsunade, Kushina, Tommy and Anko, who were now married and expecting their first child together. Everyone was talking about what had happened to all of them over the past year and a half since they had defeated the Psycho Rangers and Akatsuki. Can you believe that it's been already over a year since we defeated the Psycho Rangers and the Akatsuki from destroying the village? Said Tommy. Yeah, I know what you mean, Tommy. It only feels like yesterday when we fought them. Hard to believe it's been over a year since that time, said Naruto. Well, I can believe it, as you all train hard in order to defeat them, Naruto. Speaking of which, how are things going with the kids and your wives? Asked Anko. Well, everything is going great with the kids, Aunt Anko, and of course Sakura and the others and myself can hardly wait until the rest of our children are born, replied Naruto, smiling. That's good to know, Naruto. So Sakura, what do you and the other think you want to have, girls or boys? Asked Kushina. Well, I don't know, Kushina, but I wouldn't mind to give beer, replied Sakura. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a little girl as well, said Rose. What about the rest of you? Asked Tsunade. Well, I think having a little girl would be nice as well, replied Akiza. I agree with Akiza, none of us wouldn't mind having a daughter either, said Kagura. Yeah, I think would be great if we all had a daughter, said Kyuubi. Well, I don't really care if I have a boy or girl as long as the baby is healthy, said Ino. Well, maybe one of us will end up with twins like Kosmos did, said Kurumi. Yeah, that would be nice if any of us ended up giving birth to twins like Kosmos did, said Pink. Well, all I know is no matter if any of us gives birth to a son or daughter, we will all be happy just the same, said Makoto. I agree with you, Makoto, no matter what, it will not make us love our children any differently, said Okami. Well, all I know is that Naruto here will be happy no matter what, as will we, said Hinata. Yeah, and besides, Naruto is going to be a great dad, as he has proven by helping us take care of our children, added Tsunami. Well, I agree with the two of you, since our children have been born. Naruto has been a great dad and husband as well, said Tayuya. You got that right, Tayuya. Naruto is the best thing that has happened to any of us, said Kin. Well, what do you expect, Kin? That is the way our husband Naruto is, said Rin. Speaking of which, how did your mission to the Hidden Star Village go, Naruto? Asked Kurenai, curious. Well, everything went thing on my mission, Kurenai. The only thing that happened to me and the ninja I was escorting back to the Star Village had happened was we were attacked by a few bandits, but I quickly took care of them without no trouble and we made it to the Star Village in one piece, replied Naruto. Well, that good to know, Naruto, as there is no ninja alive that can beat you, said Princess Yuki. With that said, they started to talk about how Maya and Cole had just gotten married a month ago and were planning on trying to start a family of their own. When all of a sudden Naruto noticed Sakura clutch her chest in pain, as did Rose, Pink, Kyuubi, Okami, Makoto, Kagura, Kurumi, Akiza, and Ino. Naruto quickly went over to them. Sakura, what is the matter with you and the others? Asked Naruto, concerned. It's my water, Naruto, it broke, replied Sakura. Sakura's right, Naruto, her and the others' waters have broken and they are starting to go into labor, said Tsunade. Alright then, in that case we need to get them to the hospital fast. Cosmos, call the hospital and tell them what is happening and tell them to be ready when we arrive there, said Naruto, looking at Cosmos. You got it, Naruto, said Cosmos, quickly going to the phone to call the hospital. Runo, go call the others and tell them what is going on and have them meet the rest of us at the hospital right away, said Naruto. You got it, Naruto-kun, replied Runo, going to the other phone to call the others to tell them what was going on. Mom, do you think you the others can help me carry Sakura and the others to the hospital, as we aren't that far away? Asked Naruto, looking at Kushina. You can count on us, Naruto. We will help you carry the others, replied Kushina. With that, Kushina and the others pick up Sakura and the others, who were now starting to go into labor, while Anko and Tommy decided to stay behind and look after the kids until they got back. With they, Naruto and the others left for the hospital. After running for 5 minutes, they finally made it to the emergency room and the doctors quickly took Sakura and the others away, telling Naruto and the others to wait in the waiting room while Tsunade went with the doctors. After waiting in the waiting for 20 minutes, Naruto was getting worried about what was happening when all of a sudden he looked up and saw the other coming towards him. "Guys, am I glad to see you here," said Naruto. "Well, we came as soon as we could when Runo called us on our growl phones when we're on the animarium," replied Alyssa. "So how are Sakura and the others doing?" asked Cole. "Well, last time I asked the doctor he said they were all doing fine and that IAHD nothing to worry about. But that doesn't make me feel any better," replied Naruto. "Well, that is just you being nervous about them giving birth. You were like this the last time when Hinata and the others gave birth. So you don't have to worry," said Max. "I guess you're right, Max. I shouldn't worry too much as Sakura and the others along with the babies will be fine," said Naruto, cheering up. "That's more like Naruto. Thinking about the positive side of things," said Danny. At that moment Naruto saw his mother Tsunade coming into the waiting room. "Ka-san, what are you doing here? Are Sakura and the others alright?" asked Naruto. "Sakura and the others are alright, Naruto, and the reason I am here is to tell you that I will be the one to be delivering the babies as Sakura and the others are almost ready to give birth," replied Tsunade. "That's good to hear, Ka-san, and I now can relax now that I know that you will be there with Sakura and the others watching over them," said Naruto. "That's good to know, Naruto. Now if you can excuse me, I have to get into the delivery room as the doctors are in there waiting for me to show up. But I promise I will be back soon to tell you and the others how everything went," said Tsunade. With that, Tsunade left, leaving Naruto and the others waiting in the waiting room to hear from her. After 4 hours of waiting, Naruto saw Tsunade walking to the waiting room with a smile on her face. "Ka-san, how did everything we go? Are Sakura and the others okay and the babies as well?" asked Naruto, worried. "Everyone is fine, Naruto, and I am happy to say that Rose, Kyuubi, Okami, Kagura, Akiza, Pink, Ino, and Kurumi have all given birth to healthy, beautiful baby girls, and Sakura has given birth to twin girls," replied Tsunade, smiling. "That's good news to hear, Lady Tsunade. So when can we go see them?" asked Taylor. "Well, I am afraid that Naruto is the only one that can go right now since Sakura and the others are resting in the recovery room with the babies. But after Naruto see them you can all go in about an hour to see how they're doing," replied Tsunade. "Well, in that case, Ka-san, I would like to go visit my wives and kids right now if that is okay with you," said Naruto. "It's okay by me, Naruto. Now just follow me and I will take you to see Sakura and the others," said Tsunade. With that, Naruto followed Tsunade down the hall. After 10 minutes of walking, Naruto finally came to the recovery room and he went inside and saw Sakura and the others holding his new daughters in their arms. The girl in Kagura's arms had white hair and pink eyes with pink marks on the left side of her body just like Kagura. The girl in Rose's arms had black hair with pink bangs and black eyes just like Rose. The girl in Kurumi's arms had pink hair and blue eyes just like Kurumi had. The girl that Okami was holding had her mother's white hair and gold eyes as well as wolf ears and a tail. The girl that Kyuubi was holding in her arms had her hair and eyes along with the fox ears and 9 foxtails. The girl that Pink was holding had dark skin and gold eyes with dark pink hair as well as cat ears and a tail. The girl Makoto's arms had black hair like her as well as yellow snake-like eyes like Makoto. The girl that Akiza was holding had Akiza's hair and eyes. The girl Ino held in her hands had blonde hair and blue eyes like Ino did. Finally, Naruto looked at the 2 girls that Sakura was holding in her arms. The first girl had pink hair and green eyes like Sakura and the other girl had blonde hair and Naruto's blue eyes and whisker marks on her face. "I can't believe this, our daughters are the most perfect thing in the world," said Naruto, smiling. "Yes, I agree with you, Naruto-kun, our daughters are perfect the way they are," said Sakura, smiling. "Yeah, thanks to us they will have a loving family and home to grow up in," added Pink. "You got that right. Our children will have a loving and caring family to grow up in," said Naruto, giving each of his wives a kiss on the lips. An hour later the others were finally recovery room to say Naruto and the others. When they got there they saw Naruto holding one of his daughters in his arms with Sakura and the others holding the rest of the girls in their arms who were now asleep, and they were all smiling as they looked down at them. "Well, what do you know, looks like everything turned out okay," said Danny. "What did I tell you, Danny? There was nothing for us and Naruto to worry about as Sakura and the others are fine along with their daughters," said Max. "Naruto, your daughters are so cute and beautiful. said Alyssa. Thanks for saying that, Alyssa. They're very precious, said Naruto. So what are their names? Asked Taylor. Well, me and Naruto decided to name our daughter here Kushina after his mother, replied Kagura. Well, me and Naruto decided to name our daughter here Tsunade after Lady Tsunade, said Kurumi. Naruto and I have decided to name our daughter Alyssa after you, Alyssa, since you are an honorable person, said Pink. Well, me and Naruto have decided to name our little girl Kyuubi after me since she looks just like me, said Kyuubi. Well, we decided to call our daughter here Starfire since it fits our daughter perfectly, said Akiza. Me and Naruto decided to name our girl Okami after me, said Okami. Well, me and Naruto decided to name our daughter Linka since it sounded like a beautiful name for her, said Rose. Well, me and Naruto decided to name our little girl Konan even though it was the name of a member of the Akatsuki since it seems to fit her, said Makoto. Well, me and Naruto decided to name our daughter here Crystal Sign, she is a beautiful little girl. While me and Naruto here decided to name the girl that looks like me Sakura after me. And we decided to name the girl that has Naruto's blonde hair and blue eyes and whisker marks Shayla after Princess Shayla since she gave her life to send you guys and the animarium here, said Sakura. Well, I think those are very beautiful names for your children, said Cole. So when did the doctor say that Sakura and the others can come home with the babies? Asked Maya. Well, the doctor said that Sakura and the others need to recover for about a week in the hospital before they can go home with the children, replied Naruto. Well, that is good to hear that, Naruto. Because that gives us time to get what we need done in time for them to come home, said Andros. What do you mean by that, Andros? Asked Ino confused. You guys will find out when you get home. Until then, just get some rest and relax until you're all ready to come back home with the children, replied Runo. With that said, the others left the recovery room to put their plan into action in time for when Sakura and the others would come home with the babies. 1 week later, Naruto and his wives had come home from the hospital finally with their children and were now at the front door of their house. As soon as Naruto opened the door and they went inside, they were surprised to see the others in the living room with a huge banner above them saying "Welcome home" and saying "Surprise," which caught them by surprise as they were not expecting a welcome home party. So this is what you all were up to for the last week, said Naruto. Yeah, we had this surprise party plan ever since before we left the hospital, replied Cole. So what do you guys think of our surprise? Asked Max. Well, all we can say is thank you all for thinking of us, and this is a very nice surprise to come home to, replied Sakura smiling. Well, that is good to hear from you. Now since we are all here, how about we get this party started, said Danny. With that, Naruto and the others joined the party and they all talk about everything that had happened to them since the day Cole and the other rangers had come to the village and talk about what the future was going to be like for them. After 3 hours, Cole and the others had left the house and Sakura and the others had put the children away for the night, and Naruto was in the living room with his mothers Tsunade and Kushina. So what did think of today, Naruto? Asked Kushina. Today was a great day, Mom, as we had a lot to celebrate, replied Naruto. That's good to know, Naruto, as before we go to bed I have something to ask you as it is important and I need to answer before we turn in for the night, said Tsunade. What is it you need to ask me for, Ka-san, and why do you need me to answer it tonight? Asked Naruto confused. Because the council has asked me to choose a person to replace me as Hokage and need me to give them the name of the person I have chosen by tomorrow. So I told them before I came home I had chosen you to become the next Hokage after I retired, and I need to give them your answer if you would take the job by tomorrow morning. So what about it, Naruto? Will you become the next Hokage after I retired, as you have proven to me and your mom and the rest of the village that you are ready for it? Replied Tsunade. Well, all I can say to that, Ka-san, is that I would be honored to become the next Hokage and protect this village from harm no matter what, as you and mom feel that I deserve it, replied Naruto. That's good news to hear, Naruto, as we feel you can do a good job as Hokage protecting this village from anyone who would want to do harm to it, said Kushina. Yes, it is very good news to hear. Now that is settled, I think we should all head to bed and get some rest, and I will inform the council of your answer tomorrow morning when I meet with them, said Tsunade. With that, they all headed to bed for the night. When Naruto got inside of his bedroom and got in bed, he looked out the window at the full moon and realized that he was now ready to become the next Hokage and protect the village from harm. With that, Naruto laid his head down and went to sleep, ready to take on anything that came his way. 5 years later, it now had been 6.5 years since the defeat of the Psycho Rangers and the Akatsuki and the birth of Naruto's children. Now the 6th Hokage Naruto was sitting at his desk looking out the window at the village, thinking about everything that had happened to him so far. Hard to believe it's been over 6 years since me and the other Rangers defeated the Psycho Rangers and the Akatsuki was stopped and my children were born. Hard to believe they're 6 and 5 years old already. It only felt like yesterday when they were just babies and now they have grown up so much since then, thought Naruto, smiling. At that moment there was a knock at the door and Naruto told whoever it was to come in. All of a sudden the door opened and Naruto was tackled to the floor by his daughters Starfire, Alyssa, Sakura, and Shayla. Starfire, Alyssa, Sakura, Shayla, what do you think you are doing here? Asked Naruto to his 4 daughters. We came to see what you were doing, Daddy, replied Starfire. Yeah, we were wondering if you were ever going to come see us on our birthday, added Alyssa. What do you 4 think you are doing tackling your dad to the ground? Asked Sakura as Akiza and Pink came into the room. We were just saying hi to Daddy, Mommy, replied Shayla. Well, you said hi to him. Now I think it's time for you to get off your father and let him get back on his feet, Pink. With that, Starfire, Alyssa, Sakura, and Shayla got off of Naruto and he got back on his feet. Sorry about tackling you to the ground, Daddy. We just wanted to know what you were up to, said little Sakura. It's okay, you 4. You were all just excited to see me that you 4 got carried away, said Naruto, looking at his daughter, smiling. Well, they should know better than to tackle you to the ground, Naruto. Which reminds us, are you ready to head up to the animarium for our children's birthday party? Asked Akiza. Well, I still have some paperwork to do, but I think I can let some of my shadow clones finish for me, as today is an important day for our children, replied Naruto. With that, Naruto made about 5 shadow clones to finish the rest of the paperwork and he and the others left the office to head up to the animarium. After 20 minutes they finally made it to the animarium when Naruto saw his wives Rose and Makoto with their daughters Linka and Kei, said Rose as she and Makoto ran over to him. Yeah, I did, as I would not miss this day for the world, replied Naruto, giving each of them a kiss on the lips. Let me guess, you used the shadow clone jutsu again to finish off the rest of the paperwork? Asked Makoto. You got it right, Makoto, as today is an important day for our family. Which reminds, how are my 2 little angels here doing? Replied Naruto, looking at Linka and Konan. We're doing just fine, Daddy, replied Linka. Yeah, we're glad you could come today, Daddy, added Konan. Well, I wouldn't miss your birthday today for anything, so where are the others? Said Naruto, curious. Well, Kyuubi, Okami, Kurenai, and Runo, or which little Okami, little Kyuubi, little Runo and Sapphire talking to Tommy and Anko with their children Jason and Kim. Rin, Kosmos and Hinata are with Yukina, Hanabi, Maya and Merrick talking to your mother Tsunade, replied Rose. Well, Tsunami, Princess Yuki, Kurumi, and Kin are with Fiona, Yuri, little Tsunade and Botan, and they're talking to Kushina. While Tayuya, Ino, and Kagura are with Ruby, Crystal and little Kushina talking to Maya and Cole and their daughter Lily, said Makoto. That's good to hear. I think we'll go say hi to all of them before we get the party started, said Naruto. With that, Naruto left to go say hi to the others. After 10 minutes, Naruto saw his wives Kyuubi, Okami, Kurenai, and Runo with their daughters and son talking to Tommy and Anko with their children Jason and Kim, when all of a sudden Naruto's daughters Sapphire and little Runo jump on him. Daddy, you finally came, said Sapphire. Yeah, we were wondering what was taking you so long getting here, Daddy, added little Runo. Well, I had paperwork to fill out and had to use some of my shadow clones to finish it up so I could come today, as I wouldn't miss this for the world, said Naruto, smiling. Sapphire, Runo, get off your dad right now, said Runo. Why do we have to, Mommy? Asked little Runo. Because it is not nice to jump on people, especially your own father. Now get off of him right now before you 2 are punished, replied Kurenai. With that, Sapphire and little Runo got off of Naruto. Looks like have everything under control here, said Naruto. Well, what do you expect, Naruto-kun? Our children know better than to disobey us, said Kyuubi. So I assume from you being here that you use the shadow clone jutsu again to get out of filling paperwork, said Kyuubi. Guilty as charged. But the reason I did it this time was because I wanted to be here for our children's birthday. Which reminds me, how are my two little precious people here doing? Replied Naruto looking at little Okami and Kyuubi. We're doing just fine, Dad, said little Kyuubi. Yeah, we were just hanging out with Jason and Kim, added little Okami. That's good to know, said Naruto. Well, we are just glad you could show up, Naruto-kun, said Okami. Looks like you finally decided to show up, Naruto, said Anko. Well, I couldn't miss my own children's birthday now, could I, Aunt Anko? Replied Naruto smiling. Well, we are just glad you could show up today. Isn't that right, Jason and Kim? Said Tommy looking down at his children. Yeah, we're glad you could show up, cousin Naruto, said Jason. Yeah, Mommy and Daddy were wondering where you were, as were the others, said Kim. Well, I am glad that everyone was worried about me. Now if you can excuse me, I have to go finish saying hi to the others, said Naruto. With that, Naruto left them to go see the others. After 5 minutes, Naruto saw his wives Rin, Kosmos and Hinata with their children talking to his mother Tsunade. Daddy, you finally came, said Yukina. Yeah, we were worried about you, added Hanabi. Well, you don't have to worry about me, as I am here to see you, said Naruto, giving them a hug. Naruto, good to see you could pull yourself away from doing paperwork to come up to the animarium for our children's birthday, said Rin. Well, I wouldn't miss Todi for the world, not even if I had a ton of paperwork to fill out, said Naruto smiling. Well, we don't care how you got here, Naruto-kun. We're just glad you did, said Hinata. Yeah, we're all glad you could come today, added Kosmos. Well, I am glad to, and I think my two little ones here are glad to, right? Said Naruto looking at Maya and Merrick. We are glad to see you, Daddy, said Maya. Yeah, we're glad you could come today, said Merrick. Let me guess, Naruto, you cheated out of your paperwork by using the shadow clone jutsu again? Asked Tsunade. I guess I can't hide anything from you, Ka-san, said Naruto. Well, it doesn't matter, as I am glad you could make it today, said Tsunade, giving Naruto a hug. Well, I am glad to, Ka-san. Now I have to go say hi to everyone else, then we can get the party going, said Naruto. With that, Naruto left them to go find the others. After searching around the animarium some more, Naruto saw Tsunami, Kin, Princess Yuki, and Kurumi with their daughters talking to his mom Kushina. When all of a sudden his daughters Fiona and Yuri came running over to him and gave him a big hug. Daddy, you came to our party, said Fiona. Yeah, we were wondering if you were going to come, Daddy, since you were busy with paperwork, added Yuri. Well, I wouldn't miss your birthday for the entire world today, replied Naruto, giving them a hug. Well, looks like you finally came, Todi, Naruto-kun, said Tsunami. Yeah, we wondering where you were since we saw you earlier filling out all that paperwork, added Ken. Well, as you can see, I managed to make it today. But of course I had to use my shadow clones to finish the paperwork, replied Naruto, giving them a kiss. Well, we are just glad you showed up today, said Princess Yuki. Yeah, we were all worried that you were never going to show up, said Kurumi. Well, what can I say, but I never break a promise to people I care about. Now how are my two birthday girls here doing? Asked Naruto, looking at his daughters Tsunade and Botan. We're doing just fine, Daddy, replied little Tsunade. Yeah, Daddy, we're just glad you could make it today, added Botan. So how is everything going at the office, Naruto? Asked Kushina, looking at Naruto. Everything is going fine, Mom. I just wish that Andros and the other rangers could be here today. But they were needed in the land of rain to capture some missing ninja that were causing trouble over there, and of course Kakashi-sensei and Sasuke decided to tag along with them in case they needed some backup, replied Naruto. Well, that is the way things are, Naruto. The land of rain needed their help in capturing missing ninja, and I can imagine that they wish they were right now. But of course they can't, but we will see them again when they return, said Kushina. You got that right, Mom. Well, I better go finish saying hi to the others and then we can get this party finally started, said Naruto. With that, Naruto left the others to finish saying hello. After 10 more minutes of searching, Naruto finally saw Tayuya, Ino, and Kagura with their daughter talking to Cole and Maya, who were with their children. When Naruto's daughters Crystal and Ruby saw him and ran over to Naruto, who quickly hugged both of them. Daddy, you're here, said Crystal. Yeah, everyone was worried where you were, Daddy, especially Mommy, said Ruby. Well, you two don't have to worry about me any longer as I am here, said Naruto. Naruto-kun, good to see you could finally make it up to the animarium, said Tayuya. Yeah, good, you finally decided to show up at last, said Ino. Well, I am glad I am here too. So how is everything being going up here while you were all waiting for me to show up? Asked Naruto. Well, everything being doing good, Naruto-kun. But we are all just glad you are here right now, replied Kagura. Well, I am glad I could make it to Kagura. So how is my little angel here being? Asked Naruto looking at Kushina. I am just fine, daddy, now that you are here, replied little Kushina. Well, looks like you finally decided to show up, brother, said Maya. Well, I couldn't just leave you all hanging now, could I, Maya? So how has everything being with you and Cole? Said Naruto. Everything's being going good, Naruto. Of course, could make it as well. Right, Lily? Replied Cole looking at his daughter. Yes, I am glad that Uncle Naruto could make it up here to the animarium, said Lily. Well, I am glad I could make it up here to see you all today. Now since that is settled, I think it's time for us to start the birthday party, said Naruto. With that, they all went to the clearing in the middle of the animarium where the others were at, and they started the party. And as the children were playing, Naruto and the others decided to talk about everything that had happened to them over the years. Unnoticed to everyone looking at them from the top of the cliff was Zordon, who had decided to pay one visit to the Rangers to see how everything was going for them and look at Naruto, who was smiling. Ah, Naruto, I am glad you have finally found redemption for what you did as Zen-Aku all those years ago, and that you have finally found happiness with people who love you for who you are. I know now that I made a wise choice by having you reborn on this world. I wish you many long and happy years ahead for you and the others Rangers, and may the power protect you all forever, said Zordon. With that, Zordon disappeared into sparks of golden light. The end. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.